Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right there.
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, folks, it's great to be with you. I got a simple question for you. Have you canceled your Netflix subscription yet? Rob, can you start with that poll? Have you actually canceled your Netflix subscription? I'm curious because this one guy with 220 million followers on this app called X told everybody to cancel it. And yesterday, his net worth crossed $500 billion. I said 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, he's going to be the first trillionaire in the next 24 to 36 months. Some number like that. Now they're saying he's going to be a trillionaire in 2026.
Wow.
And it looks like that's going to be happening.
They think he's going to
soon.
double his net worth in the next 12 months.
The way he's building equity. He's been in companies. That's what happens when you're building companies. Mike Johnson, caught on camera, admitting Trump is unwell. But Mike Johnson, there's two other stories about Mike Johnson. One guy went after him, baby grind with me type of a thing. And then another story of Mike Johnson, a clip that I absolutely love. Rob, I hope you found that. It's such a great clip of Mike Johnson. You know he's in the middle of things when he's getting people claiming some stuff about him, where he's giving Hakeem Jeffries advice about his mental health. You know what he told Hakeem Jeffries? Why are you looking at what the president is tweeting? It's the internet. He's trolling you. He's telling Hakeem Jeffries to not allow his boss to troll him. I mean, that's like a double troll. That's a cancellation of a troll, a level of maturity. But maybe there's some kind of a sense of humor there. You just got to see it. It's funny. I think it's funny. I think it's really funny. Then you got Google is blocking AI searches for Trump and dementia. Okay? That's not good because it's going back the other way. And Tom is probably right about what he's saying here. Back-to-back highs, guys. You ready? All that stuff people feared about tariffs, August and September brought in $62.6 billion of revenue to the United States. If it was a country, if it was a company, it was a decent month. It had. And then Trump jokes about RFK sneezing, saying, I hope I didn't get COVID from you. Sinaloa cartel members, if you're watching this, the cartel members, if you're watching this, admits Trump's crackdown making operations difficult. Can you imagine if the Sinaloa cartel members watched the podcast? Hey, Vato.
Hey, they're freaking talking about us, eh?
I'd like to speak to our shareholders. We had a really tough quarter.
Stop beheading that guy and come here, fool.
Beheadings were down. Transports were down.
PBD's talking about
We
us.
got to get Ricky on the scene,
Market
bro.
forces are impacting our
only
operations.
person
bro,
that can
what's that
solve this
cocaine
problem
off
is
the
our
phone?
friend Ricky.
Actually,
I'm
let's
talking to
do
Joe.
a skit. Right?
No, Tom, we're going to continue.
When Tom thinks about a skit, you know that thing's about to
Taiwan
come out.
Cartels do quarterly earnings
First
reports.
of all, let's do
Vinny,
a
stop
skit.
going viral.
You know what skit
Use
I'd like
Tom
to
to
see you
get
do?
your skits.
I would like to see you do a skit with Tom, with a general contractor and a foreman.
Okay.
And
Do I have to dress up like a girl?
no, we'll have somebody.
cast a girl.
and then we
with that,
say, you do two situations. What happened? He goes in the room with her or he doesn't.
Yeah.
Which one
Well,
happened?
yeah.
It's kind of like a question for everybody.
Hey, baby, want to nail my 2x4?
Yeah.
I got to go, guys.
Taiwan rejects. Get Brandon in here.
Yeah, let's
Taiwan
go. We gotta
rejects
get some
U.S.
ratings up. Get
proposals.
Brandon.
By the way, guys, you know Adam was here at 5 a.m. this morning just to make sure
No, I
he was
slept
late
here.
1 minute on Wednesday.
I
and
slept
Brandon
under the
took his
trailer.
spot. He's been here since 5 a.m. this morning on time. He was about to be a Wally Pip, and Lou Gehrig was going to take over. Taiwan rejects U.S. proposals, 50-50 chip production, says trade talks focus on tariffs. Trump's threatening 100% tariff on foreign-made movies, folks, and he's not talking about adult movies. He's talking like real foreign-made movies. He's not happy about it. And TikTok, we eventually have to talk about this. Congress gets paid during a shutdown, government shutdown, and Mike Johnson trades barbs with George Stephanopoulos over government shutdown. Dearborn Islamic Center, who has invited us to come and do a podcast there.
Yeah.
They have not, but people in Dearborn have. By the way, truthfully, I'm getting so many messages, people saying, please come do a podcast there. Please come do a podcast there. I'm at a point, I'm telling you, there's a part of me that's excited about doing it. And if we get more and more people saying come, and if we really get a committed crowd,
I'm down.
we're going to go do a podcast.
Let me tell you, if we do that, it would be explosive.
Yeah.
Literally.
Is that too soon?
Dearborn Islamic Center holds Memorial Morning a year after Hezbollah chief Nasrallah martyrdom. So John Fetterman now has higher approval rating with Republicans than Democrats. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Newsom courts big oil as gas prices threaten political ambitions. What an interesting thing.
Wow.
Andrew
all that
Cuomo
EV stuff.
apologizes to Jewish people, and Adam was celebrating, but to Jewish New Yorkers for COVID-19 lockdowns. And then New York City mayoral candidate Mamdani affect as Manhattan residents reportedly flee to suburbs. They're already leaving this guy. They're like, I'm out. I'm done with you.
Before he's even been elected.
Yeah, Starmer to increase requirement for refugees trying to stay. And then Pope made some rare comments on U.S. politics around this ICE. Like this was like, I thought, honestly, Adam, I'm not kidding with you. At first, you know how you go like when you're doing events? This may be inappropriate. I'm just take my sense of humor and just like this is how literal I am sometimes. I thought at ICE, you know how you shave ice for kids?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get like the shaving ice and then put like a...
Yeah.
And then Humberto tells me that was a commitment that the previous Pope made that he has to fulfill. So to all the Catholics out there, we got a Catholic in here educating us on what really happened.
Climate change, Humberto.
We were all excited about it's going to be an ice shaving machine type of stuff. And no, it's not. It's just like a...
Like to shave like an angel or something.
But respect. We're going to give it a respect. We're going to give it a respect that it deserves because it reserves. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
So New York Times poll, support for Israel drops almost entirely due to Democrats. And guess who wants to talk about the story? Is it Tom? No. Is it Rob? No. Is it Vinny? No.
That guy.
Is it Adam? It is.
How you doing?
Warren Buffett on the verge of first mega deal in years as investors prepare to cash in. And then Elon is just not stopping with this Netflix stuff. We have to show you a couple of these things. And then Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, and Ray J sue Ray J for defamation over inflammatory feds, RICO accusations. I mean, some hardcore stuff. And Harvard, you realize Harvard's really trying to win the normal families. You ready, folks? For some of you guys that said you will never, ever encourage your kids to go to Harvard, well, this may change your mind, especially the conservative families. Harvard decides to hire drag queen with the name of LaWhore Vagistan
Oh, nice.
as visiting professor for class about sexual dissidence. By the way, this is a true story. That's how crazy it is. You think logic is showing up and Trump saying, I'll give you some money if you bring what? If you allow people to have some trade skills at Harvard like plumbing, and Vinny's talking about visually what that would look like at Harvard. How'd you learn to be a plumber? Harvard Business School.
And they're at the same moment trying to negotiate with Trump to get their endowments back.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about
their grants back.
We're going to talk about NFL and Bad Bunny super halftime. Some people are making comments about them. Ukraine pitches plan to help U.S. sell American oil to Europe, and it looks like Putin may be open to the idea of meeting with Zelensky. And then we got a couple other stories here. Hopefully, we'll get into. By the time we're done after 7.5 hours, we'll get to all the stories. And Netflix, that's an older story, but we'll bring it because I think Tom's going to tie it all together. All right, gang, check this out. So here's what we're doing. Last night was a great night. The Yankees beat the Red Sox, okay? Notice one person not clapping, okay? And that is none other than Tom Ellsworth. So here's what we want to do with you. Here's what, look at that. Look at the hater look.
Look at that look.
Zoom in on his face. By the way, I want people, can you zoom in on his face, Jake? Zoom in on his face
stop smiling.
and tell me, everybody in the group text last night was texting back except for one guy. And the one guy who didn't respond back was this guy. He says he doesn't have hate towards the Yankees. I believe he does. Having said that, the pitcher of the Yankees yesterday pitched a
lights out
12 strike. You know, he hasn't pitched a 12 strikeout. Not in the minor leagues. This is the first time he does it. Lights out, great stuff. But here's what we like to see.
Schlittler.
For some of you guys that are Dodger fans, you're from LA, and you're on Tom's side. We got the Dodger Blue Future Looks Bright hat.
Look at
Check this
that.
out. Look at the timing of it. Boom! What a sick hat that is. By the way, whether you're a Dodgers fan or not, that is a legit one of the sickest blue-colored Future Looks Bright hat we have. But if you're a Yankees fan, folks, we also got the Yankees hat. The navy blue Future Looks Bright hat. So here's a contest we're going to be playing. We're going to be watching to see which of these two is going to get more love. Now,
Come on, Yankees.
Tom was upset because Tom said people in L.A. are sleeping, Pat. Yankees fans are up.
Yeah, we are.
But listen, California is one of the biggest viewers of the podcast. So, Rob, we have to find a way to put the links of both hats there. Folks, if you're searching it, You could put Navy hat, it'll come up. And what's the other hat's title if somebody is searching it so they want to find it? It's Royal Hat.
It is a
you
sick
type in
color.
Royal, but both hats are sick.
I know.
Are there other colors?
Maybe you're somebody that's kind of like, you're neither Yankees or the Dodgers. Some of you guys may be watching this. You're Pirates. You're ready to go after the ump. Some of you guys are like, where's that ump? Give me the ump. I want to go find that man. I want to go chase that man. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. They were chasing. Did you see that afterward? Oh, my God.
They chased the ump.
They're holding the Pirates players back from destroying this ump.
Oh, man.
Because of a couple bad pitches that they had. Cubs
Did they get
obviously won.
eliminated?
Yeah, it's done, guys. So
Next year
Yankees
it's a
made it.
robot.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, we're going to see what's going to happen.
Did you
Anyway,
have the hat in teal for those Marlins fans out there?
we
They
actually
still
do as well, but
exist?
right now the focus is going to be this. People
Okay.
who are in the playoffs. So Yankees blue or Dodger blue, pick and choose. Go place the order. Support your team and
go,
support
Yankees.
Future Looks Bright. With that being said, let's talk about canceling Netflix. All right. So, very interesting. Like the moment you think this woke stuff is gone and parents eventually made a point to folks to say, can you just stop it? Can you stop it with all this stuff with kids? No. Netflix is like, we're going to double down. Now, Netflix didn't watch what happened to Disney. Netflix didn't sit there and say, oh, my God, look at all the mess Disney's going through. Netflix didn't pay attention to the fact that, the Disney stock went from $388 billion market cap, give or take, to half that. They weren't paying attention to it. And then all of a sudden, they're like, no, we're going to continue going with this. So, Rob, which one do you want to go with? What can we play to react to? Because some of this stuff is in the show, so I don't know if we can show them or not. But can we show pictures?
Yeah, I have tweets from Elon Musk as well as the Netflix stock.
So why don't we do this? So here's cancel Netflix from Elon Musk. Libs of TikTok tweets this just a couple days ago. It says, holy shit. Show on Netflix, The Babysitter Club pushes transgenderism on kids, shames characters for misgendering, and demands hospital staff refer to and treat a boy as a girl. Insanity. This is one, okay? Next one, Rob, if you want to go to the other one.
And did you see? I don't know if you saw,
I saw the
video.
clip.
Is disgusting.
Can you narrate maybe what happened?
She's
there?
coming in there, and the kid's going through, I don't know, transition or whatever, and the doctor and the nurse misgender the girl that's laying there, or boy or whatever. So the friend goes, can I talk to you guys outside? Goes outside and has to correct the doctor and the nurse that she is a he and he's, it's like, bro, what? Stop. And by the way, parents, guys, you guys have no idea. When parents just go, honey, go watch Netflix, and they give them a remote and they leave, you have no idea the subliminal little messages. You don't think kids are looking at this going, huh, what is that?
And they mimic it. They go home and they mimic it. And that's a form of indoctrination.
Yeah, and Pat, and I know you want to, I don't know if we can shorten that. I sent Rob, I actually screenshot and recorded.
Let's just play.
We can play the audio for the audience and for the video for you guys and not show the video. That way we don't get flagged.
Play the audio.
So Rob, go back.
Guys,
yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It took a while, but we finally found a file for a Bailey Del Vecchio.
This is the nurse.
Is 32 Burn Hill Road still the current address? Yeah. Have you been giving him fluids? If he's dehydrated, we'll
And by the way, it's
have him change into this.
It's.
I hear someone's not feeling well.
Doctor comes in. The friend is looking. They're both a little visibly upset. And now the friend,
Can I please talk to you two outside?
a 12-year-old, has to talk to a doctor and a nurse about biology. Ready? Look, now she's addressing them.
I know that you guys are busy, but as you would see, if you looked at her and not her chart,
And
Bailey is not a boy.
what the hell
And
is
the treating
going
her
on?
like
Bailey
one,
is
you are
not.
completely ignoring who
Pause it. Okay. Now, disgusting.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Disgusting. There you have that there. Now, is this and it's called what? Babysitter's Club? Now, watch the next one, Rob. What's the other one that they have? Is this another one?
Yes, it's another cartoon that's on Netflix. I believe the name of this show is A Dead and Paranormal Park. It's a show that's geared for 7-year-olds, and we'll play the audio again.
Go ahead.
It's not the park. It's me.
Oh God.
I'm trans, Norma.
Great.
And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like
Stop.
a whole new place.
Pause it right there.
Like,
Rob.
I can
I'm
just
good.
Like,
good. What's the other one? There's another one
I
as
had
well
a-
that the two girls are kissing each other. The cartoon. I don't know if you have that one or not.
I sent Rob a montage video,
Yeah.
Pat, just like where I screen recorded.
Anyways, there's a bunch of them. So here's the point. So that happens. Here's what happens to Netflix's stock. Can we look at what happened on Netflix's stock?
Please.
So Netflix's stock drops. How much does it drop, Tom? Was it a dramatic drop or not really?
Not really. And Rob, I sent you a link for a full year look at it. So don't cry for Netflix. The stock is not that far down. What we need is if this boycott goes heavier, I sent you the link this morning, and just click on it and then click on year to date. It's ready to go. But you'll see, Pat, that they've actually been on a roll over the last year. Netflix has been on a bit of a roll. Now, click with it one day, click on year to date. Little blue box right there. Yep. Year to date.
Stock is up. So it's not even nothing happened.
It's down a little tiny bit,
if you
but
wanna
they're,
look at
they're,
all
they're at
time-
half a trillion. They're at 500. Look down. I think the market cap is approaching $500 billion. Just scroll down on the page a little bit. Yeah, 493. Market cap is 493. Now go back up and take a look. And there's the bounce out of COVID. Pat drops down, but since then they're
They've
on
been
a roll.
a tear. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There's been a minor blip downward.
This is why I asked the question. The question I asked is, how many people think actually canceled Netflix? Actually canceled their membership. What do you think the number is? You think it's a real number?
I think it's 1 million.
You think so?
What do you mean? You don't think 1 million people out of 350 million Americans canceled?
How many total subscribers does
subscribers do they
Netflix
have?
have?
Yeah.
The last number I remember was 185 million, 190 million. Maybe higher today. That was a few years ago when we did some. It's probably got to be in the 205 to 210 million today. Let's see what the number is. 300 million. Okay. So they've killed. There are 300 million paid subscribers globally. Do you think they lost 100,000? Do you think they lost 500,000?
And they're not worried about it. Take a look at that note. Their CFO said that they will no longer identify the specific subscriber numbers in quarterly reports. They will only talk about revenue and EBITDA.
Why is that?
Well, because the subscriber numbers can jump up and down a lot, and they've got a variety of tiers. So a subscriber is not a subscriber. And they're saying, it's my job to make revenue go up quarter to quarter, and I'm not going to talk about subscribers. So a boycott like this, unless it really hit revenue, they're not going to disclose.
What does Netflix charge per month these days?
Netflix, I think it's like 15 or 20. I think it went up.
No.
And mind you, you know what was that thing that Humberto said? You remember the show Cuties that was on there?
$7 to $25 a month.
Rob, can you remember the show Cuties? Can you find the show Cuties?
The one that
a
we've
bunch
all
of
had.
young,
That still exists?
young girls. I don't know, but Charlie Kirk, and I sent Rob Charlie Kirk posted September 11, 2020. This is your daily reminder that Susan Rice sits on the board of Netflix and the Obamas receive tens of millions of dollars from Netflix. They should be forced to answer for being part of a pedophile streaming platform. That's it right there. That's an actual tweet from Charlie. Dude, is that crazy? September 11, 2020. Is that wild, Pat? Yeah. That's nuts.
The day before.
That is nuts.
Pat, did you cancel your Netflix?
No, we did not.
You did not. Why not?
Well, because first of all, we don't follow this closely. Our kids, we believe it or not, in our family, we're not a Netflix family.
What are you?
We're not. Our kids. Brooklyn watches Pink Panther from the '60s because he's got a grandpa that's 83 years old. That all he wants to show her is Pink Panther from the '60s. You should see like the old school. What do you call it? Old school.
Tom and Jerry.
No. Old school, not CGI. What do you call it?
Cartoons?
Old school. Quality cartoons, animation. Yeah, just a very level of animation that we could probably do here. If we had a weekend, we could learn how to do that type of animation on Udemy. But that's what she watches, and then we'll watch some.
That's good stuff. The old Pink Panther stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad in that.
But here's the question, though,
That is
Tom.
not my dog.
Here's the question, though, Tom. So, does this make Netflix bolder? That's the real question. Does this make Netflix bolder? Because to Disney, they felt it immediately. Rob, can you go show the stock of Disney? Okay. Go Disney stock and go back 5 years. If you can do a 5-year thing, right there, 5 year. Okay, watch this. So guess what? They felt it. All right? They felt it. And they went from what? What was it at the peak, Rob? Can you go at the peak was 180, 197. And what's the lowest? Go to right there right before 2024. Look at that. Wow. So more than 50%. Vinny, the company lost $200 billion.
Jeez.
Give or take. And even today, where's it at right now, Rob? 112? So Disney is 112. Peak was 197. So from 5 years ago to today, the shares have dropped 85, What's 85 on 197? What's 85 divided by 197? Vinny, can you do it in your head real quick?
40?
85 by 197.
42.68.
By the way, as crazy as it is, 43.1.
Bam.
Okay, so you say you're not good at math. You're actually good at math.
Tom.
Hey, you got to carry the one.
Got it.
So when you think about this, Tom, why did Disney get hit so hard, and Netflix puts this transgender stuff on there in kids' faces, and they barely feel anything? What's the difference?
Well, I think there's a big difference. Disney owns a lot of the content that people want to see. You take a look at all the stuff that they have, their library. And they also are very, very visible, and they represent something that goes back. Netflix does not have like an old school chapter that everybody remembers for their brand. I mean, think about it. What do you think of Netflix going way back? Shipping
Sending you the DVDs.
shipping DVDs.
Yeah.
When you go back and you think of Disney, you think of wholesome stories. You think of
Snow White,
the happiest
all
place on earth, friendly stuff,
children-based.
all that, children-based. Exactly right. So when Disney gets out of line,
what happened? What happened? Did you hear something just happened?
While on the show, Tom bought 5 Dodger blue hats.
Did he really? Did you really? How the hell did you do that?
You are so funny. Folks, there's a races going on. Yankees,
guys,
come on,
Yankees. Come on. This guy's
You got the
freaking doing...
Dodger blue going against the... Go to VTMers.com, type in Royal hat
That's
or
so
Navy hat,
funny.
and it'll come up. But go ahead, Tom. Make your point.
The point is
So funny.
Netflix doesn't have like a white hat, black hat before and after to look at. They only have, are you going to boycott it because you don't like this? Disney had the legacy of the happiest place on earth, safe for families, and all the content was there. And when Disney went crazy woke and went off there, you've got families that have got plush toys, history with Disney, plans to take a vacation and go to Disney World. And when they all go, no, 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 Disney gets hit like on 3 vectors. They get theme parks, merchandise, and movies. Then guess what? Netflix is just like, okay, we have a couple crazy movies. You don't like it? I'm sorry.
Yep.
So it's what you're boycotting and what it stands for.
And you know what's crazy though? I think they don't. I don't think they realize when it comes to Musk, his anger isn't coming from nowhere. It's personal. Okay, remember when Jordan Peterson sat with him and he said, "My son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus." Okay, and then he went, "I was tricked into doing this. I lost my son essentially." They called it dead naming for a reason. The reason they call it dead naming is because your son is dead. And then later on social media, he said, he sharpened it more. He said, "My son Xavier died. He was killed. Now the woke mind virus will die." Okay? They made an enemy of a guy that you just said in the beginning is worth $500 billion, and he is on track to be a trillionaire. Okay? That's the choose your enemies wisely. Netflix didn't even know that they were choosing this guy. It's the worst. And they're going to feel it. And the fact that they're pretending. All these companies pretend like, no, we don't. It's just whatever. It's not like Mother, that show, one of the what was it, Paranormal, whatever. It's not even out anymore. But then he was pissed off too. He even called out Transformers. There's a clip of Transformers pushing this trans stuff on the kids. And you know what it is? I'm just happy that parents, they're seeing it. They're not buying it. And it's like simple. Stop sexualizing the children. Stop pushing this garbage as if they didn't learn their lesson. Like Bud Light wasn't an example. Disney wasn't an example.
This is what I'm saying. I mean, to me, the question is the boldness. Like, look at what Harvard just did, okay? Harvard hires, like, if you're watching this right now, what's the next word? Okay? If the average person watching this, you saw what just happened at Harvard. What do you think is the next word? Harvard hires ...
Jeez.
You ready? Harvard hires drag queen named LaWhore Vagistan.
Wow.
As visiting professor for class about sexual dissidents. This is LaWhore Vagistan. Look at the beauty, okay?
Is it?
LaWhore Vagistan, okay? What a great name. Harvard has recently hired a visiting professor in the women, gender, and sexuality department whose alter ego is a drag queen who goes by the name LaWhore Vagistan. I keep saying that. Forgive me, folks. It's just
okay. You're not dead naming. You're calling
the
person.
department announced in July it is bringing on Kareem Khubchanadi to teach classes on queer ethnography.
He's Persian?
And RuPolitics.
RuPaul, you better work.
Drag, race, and desire. Khubchanadi has an extensive career in drag queen performance and is committed to bringing a nightclub to classroom and vice versa, teaching critical race, post-colonial, and gender theory through lip sync and lecture. I'm an educator, scholar, and performer invested in feminist, queer, and trans everyday aesthetics, particularly in South Asia and its diaspora. Khubshanadi personal website reads, my work is committed to uplifting the creative ways that minoritarian, it's an Armenian last name.
Torian.
Yeah. Subjects live inside of oppressive structures, especially how we use dance, fashion, and language to build something more beautiful for each other. I'm an associate professor of theater, dance, and performance studies at Tufts University. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God, tough.
I also perform as LaWhore Vagistan, everyday's favorite Desi drag queen auntie. The professor's queer ethnography course will study gender and sexual dissidents, such as gay neighborhoods, trans, raves, sex, work, lesbian parties, BDSM dungeons, AIDS activism, according to Harvard's official course catalog. Tell me that's not on their official book. Rob, folks, go ahead. Play that video because...
I don't even know what to say.
Go ahead, Rob.
He has eyebrows on top of his eyebrows.
Okay, stop, Rob. Stop. That's crazy. That's tough. Rob, go to the website.
That's a demon. I don't know what.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
So this is where I'm going with this. I have a complete different take on this, which I'll give here in a minute. Tom, how do you process this? Again, to me, we thought we were done with this insanity stuff. We thought Netflix was going to stop doing things with kids. We thought Disney was done. We thought Harvard was done. Then an announcement like this happened. Have they learned their lesson yet? Is this going to make a difference? Or are they going to keep playing these games for no reason?
Well, I happen to think that this is a mistake. And I think I'd be willing to bet that the Board of Regents, the trustees, the provost, and the president of Harvard that are all negotiating with our government right now, because our government has said we're going to cut, the exact word is $2.2 billion in research grants because we don't like the way you didn't protect the Jewish students on campus when the Palestinian protests were happening. And it's not that there was a Palestinian activist, it's that they were threatening and they were intimidating, and the Jewish students very reasonably feared for their personal safety. Said number one. Then they had the same issue that Yale had, where they had their thumb on the scale and not letting good students come in, specifically Asian ones, and they were mixing DEI so that they'll say we're a private university. Yeah, you're a private university, MF, but you know something? You're getting money from the United States of America, from public people's taxes, $2.2 billion a year in grants. So you can't hide behind, oh, I'm private, I can do admissions any way I want, when you're taking public money. Do whatever you want, but stop taking the public money. No more money from the public. Then they came back and they said, listen, we may bar you or just disbar you. So it's not just we're freezing the $2.2 billion, Pat, they want to disbar it. And they have put on the table a financial settlement of $500 billion. Harvard is negotiating at this hour on that $500 million. It was a headline. People thought it was done. It's not. It's being negotiated with the Trump administration and Harvard. So you have all these people on one part of campus, and all of a sudden, Pat, they see this, even though they might say, hey, if we want to offer a class like this and it's ridiculous, we'll offer a class like this. We'll do it. We can do whatever we want. We're a private institution. That's true, you are. But what do you think Pat, what would you think that the trustees and the provost, what if you're one of the trustees? And I don't think you ever would be, but what if you're one of the trustees, provost and the president come in there and you say, how are we doing with the federal government? We got to get these grants back, otherwise you're going to have a budget shortfall here. And they say, hey, did you see this going on over in the School of Sociology?
Sorry, Tom, I just looked it up. It's on their website. So, okay, so if you go here, harvard.edu, okay? Rob, can you confirm this is their actual website? Okay. Just click on that. Just click on that right there. Yeah. So it's their real website. Okay. Now go back to the page you were on. Zoom in a little bit on their site. If you click on queer ethnography, okay, place is still available. It's okay. You can log in and use that as a code. So go to the other one on RuPolitics. Okay. So you're saying Harvard and the government for me. For me, it's very different. For me, before that's the problem. Because if Harvard's always going to be worried about what the government thinks about giving them money, officially the customer becomes the government, not the families.
That's what I'm saying.
So
be a private school,
right.
but don't take the public money.
Right.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, so where I'm going with this is, so then their number one priority ought to be parents. Now, their argument may be, look, to all the conservatives out there that have problems with what Netflix and Disney is doing, you guys don't like it because it's under 18. Fine. These are adults. Let them take the classes. Believe it or not, I actually can understand that argument, okay, that they're making. You understand what I'm saying? Because if we, as conservatives, say, take it out of the, don't put it in front of our kids. They don't need to see this, okay? You can put it afterwards. Fine. You want to put, I can simply sit there and say, you know what, we're going to go to Harvard, but we're not going to take this class. Just don't worry about that class.
Right.
But maybe you know why they're putting it there? You know why they're putting it there? Yesterday, I was watching something saying, why are so many celebrities' kids transgenders? It was showing Magic Johnson, Dwayne Wade, Megan Fox, Charlize Theron. All the why is that?
Bill Maher's talked about it. He goes to parties.
Megan
and you can't
Fox,
believe how many.
Megan Fox, all these. Megan Fox, I think is 343, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, get out of here. All three of her kids.
I actually think it's.
That
can
is.
You, can you check with Megan Fox? How many trans kids does Megan Fox have? Trans kids does Megan Fox have?
If you go 3 for 3, I mean, you're
let me
just,
see. Megan has 4 children, but none of them. Room says the children are transgender based on misinformation.
They haven't been publicly identified. We've seen them dressed as the opposite sex.
well, I mean, you're dating Machine Gun Kelly, who was famous for being a dude who dresses as a chick.
Megan Fox.
So I'm glad you did
3
that.
kids
But you
and
see,
the gardener.
You see the pictures if you go to it, what the kids look like when they're going in the streets. Boys dressed as, I mean, it's not that you're not seeing it. But going back to it, maybe what they're doing is they're trying to say, we have to find a way to please the folks on the left. We have to find a way to please the people on the right. And here's what we're going to be doing. So Hollywood's going to be okay with one to send their kids here. Okay, they're not trying to see their customers as conservatives. I actually don't have a problem with that as they're doing this. I can choose not to take it. To me, I'm more okay with this than I am with the stuff that's going on with kids. That I have this much tolerance for. If you're an adult, we went to my kid this summer. Now I can say it. He went to Yale for this whatever program. Not Yale. It was a program he went to. Very interesting. Trans was out in the open. You were there.
I was there.
One of the guys that starts talking registration, the way he's talking, we're like, whoa.
I know what it was. Yeah, I was like, whoa.
And multiple kids he met that were gay and just openly talking and all this stuff. And we prepped them. I said, this is where you're going. You're going to experience a different type of an environment. We chose to put the kid there, right? Adam, how do you process this yourself? Like, would you as an adult, let's just say you're going to Florida State University, they offer RU politics. Would you take it?
At Florida State University, let me tell you something. I majored in communications and I minored in beer and chicks. This was not a thing that Florida State University or any normal, rational person dealt with growing up. And there's a lot to talk about here. Let me segment this. The Harvard situation. They hired this trans drag show person, LaWhore Vagistan, to teach this class about transgenderism. Vagistan. Any country that ends with stan, just know that they're probably not a big fan of the gays. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, very nice. I have no idea.
Turkestan.
There you go. So the gays for Gaza thing, everybody understands it's a complete sham because anyone who's gay would not be allowed in any country that ends with stan or any Muslim country for that matter. Ironically enough, and it's a little too much for me, Tel Aviv is like the gayest city in the Middle East by far. A little too much. But they said that politics is downstream from culture. And this is really where we're at these days. If you show that stat about just how gay and gay and gay our country is getting, okay, that's what's going on. Now, they say that does art imitate life or does life imitate art? What I would do, which Pat, I think you would agree with this, if you're going to have LaWhore Vagistan teach a class, you always talk about having opposing opinions, like 2 professors, that's what you would do. Well, I have an idea. Harvard, why don't you hire someone like Andrew Tate to teach a class about toxic masculinity, and him and LaWhore Vagistan can teach his class together, and we'll see who has a better idea for the future of our youth. Something will tell me when Andrew Tate sits down next to LaWhore Vagistan, LaWhore is probably going to run out the door because he's going to dismantle her with actual facts and actual arguments. So this is what's going on there. That's Harvard. Now, can we talk about Netflix for a second? This is also part of the politics is downstream from culture. When we were growing up, I used to watch shows like Saved by the Bell, which taught you how to talk to chicks
When you
like
wake
Kelly
up in the morning and you
Kapowski.
wake
Exactly.
up.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel that whole deal. And there was other shows in Living Color, but there was another show that I used to watch growing up. It was called Pepe Le Pew. You remember this dude?
He was a freaking.
This dude right here was, some may say he was a ladies' man, Don Juan DeMarco. Other may say he was a living, breathing sexual assaulter in real life.
A predator.
But this may have been sort of the reason the Me Too movement sort of existed. All right, let me tell you, lady, I'm going to take you out. All right, maybe Pepe Le Pew got canceled during the Me Too movement. But I would tell you,
French skunk, which was a complete, was a complete. There is underlying.
Tom, please
messages
don't
there.
defend sexual assaulters. Please, Tom, you're better than that. Pepe Le Pew, what a sicko. However, he did teach boys a lot of lessons how to approach women. Flip it. Now you have these shows which is encouraging kids to become transgender. And you have a 12-year-old lecturing doctors in that one scene. Listen, doctors, I know you're looking at charts and graphs and biology, but Scotty's actually a woman. So let's please use they, them pronouns while she's sick with cancer, because that's really what the kid's worried about right there. To say that we're living in an upside-down world would be an understatement, but equilibrium is what we're getting to. My assumption is over the next few years, like you said, Pat, transgenderism is going to be canceled, just like the Me Too movement got canceled with Pepe.
I just think it's too much, man. I think it's too much. But if a college wants to do it as an adult, you can do it. However, we as parents can say, screw you. Okay? That's simple. The challenge becomes some parents who are putting their kids in school who are 12, 13 years old in public school, who can't afford to put them in private school, can't say screw you because they live in that zip code. That's their job. They can't afford to put their kids in a private school that's a couple $1,000s a month. They're the ones that are screwed, where the options are not there. So anyways, let's go to the next story here with the government shutdown. Mike Johnson, okay, has a back and forth with Stephanopoulos, George, and they're going back and forth on the government shutdown. And there's a couple other clips I want to share with you guys on the government shutdown. Here's one of them. Go ahead, Rob.
Facts. Here are the facts. The proposal does not provide health care for illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants cannot buy health care under the Affordable Care Act. They cannot receive health care subsidies. Illegal immigrants are ineligible for Medicare, Medicaid, and the Children's Health Program. The Democratic bill does not make them eligible.
It does, actually, because what it does is it unwinds the changes that Republicans put into the big, beautiful bill, the big signature legislation that we passed and signed into law on July 4th. That has been very successful in shoring up Medicaid for the people who are actually eligible to receive it. What we did in the bill, and the CBO just verified this 3 weeks ago, the Congressional Budget Office, the nonpartisan arbiters of everything up here, they said that those provisions have helped to reduce premiums. Why? Because we got ineligible recipients off of Medicaid, illegal aliens, and able-bodied young men who are riding the wagon who are not eligible to be there. Medicaid is intended for specific populations of U.S. citizens. That is young, pregnant women who are down on their luck, the disabled and the elderly. Those resources are being drained from those folks, and so we fixed that. We reduced fraud, waste, and abuse in the program. Chuck Schumer's counterproposal on the CR would reverse that. That is a simple fact.
The CBO did not say that about illegal immigrants. You've made your point right there.
Yeah. He's such a.
Who? George?
Didn't George? How much money did he just have to pay? Didn't he pay millions of dollars because
I
of
don't know what the numbers
They
are.
just can't get out of their way. I'm sorry.
Tom, your thoughts on this?
Well, George Step on All of Us is really wrong.
Step on all of us.
You know, this is annoying. When news commentators become lobbyists, something's really wrong. George is mischaracterizing what was in there. The big, beautiful bill did make changes trying to preserve Medicaid for those people that need it. We lived in L.A., and L.A., there was a lot of people that needed Medicare, citizens that were there. And then when it was overwhelmed by the illegal aliens that came in, you know what happened in the hospital? We covered this about a year and a half ago on the podcast. The hospital closed because it couldn't afford it. Yeah. And they pleaded for mercy. They begged for mercy. They wanted more money from the state. The state said no. And they said, well, then I have to close that emergency room. So guess what? You had paramedics that would do what they can, provide basic things, but they didn't have drugs. They didn't have x-rays. They didn't have things like this. And sometimes they weren't able to transport people places. This is about protecting the voting bloc of illegal aliens that are coming to this country. That is all this is about. And in the process, the Democrats, and I hope people are listening, are turning their backs on group that they have been pandering to and working voting blocs for 30, 35 years. And now they're flipping the other way on them and taking resources that were for citizens in certain cities and parts of this country that didn't have it, exactly as Mike Johnson said, and they're shutting it down, and they want to give the resources legal to make the illegal aliens eligible. Stephanopoulos is not correct, and he's playing games with words on this, but Mike Johnson on this is right. On the continuing resolution, it's not just a continuing resolution, it's continuing revisions. That's what CR stands for, is continuing revisions, not continuing resolution. Continuing resolution, hey, we agree, Vinny, we're going to get $500 million a day. We're going to keep the government running on this. You could do that in one paragraph. Instead, the continuing resolution is pages and pages and pages of, if you want my vote, I need this favor. That's what's going on then.
And if you think about it, like, remember how many times have I asked on this podcast, what's the Democratic platform? What are they about? What are they for? And like time and time again, they're proving it's just illegals. Okay, they love illegals. The moment the Biden administration got in, what they do, Tommy? Open the border, flooded us with illegals, okay? This government shutdown right now is because the Republican Party isn't bowing down because they want to give Medicaid and all this health care to illegals, okay? Remember when the Maryland man, the MS-13 Maryland man was arrested? Illegal. They flew to another country. Congressmen went there to try to talk to bring his ass back here. Then in Colorado, you had Tren de Agua was taking over apartment complexes. What'd they say? No, it's not happening. You guys are crazy. ICE is out here trying to get all these illegals out, and you have these idiots shooting and killing illegals at the same time. Okay, and it's just unbelievable. That's all the Democratic Party stands for, is for illegals. They don't care about the American people. All they want is these freaking votes, because they know that you keep incentivizing these people to bring their asses over here. The 20 million that are here, they're going to keep voting for them. That's it, Tom. What else are they standing for at this point?
And they say, oh, you're lying about this, you're lying about that. Wait a minute. You lied about Russia. You lied about this. You lied about this. And now you lied about those people in Colorado. And
by the way,
they
here's
run to the
Speaker
mocrophone.
Johnson trying to give some advice to Hakeem Jeffries, and then Adam coming to you afterwards. Go ahead.
Many of you asked me this morning about sombreros and memes and why Hakeem Jeffries is all alarmed by that. But look, these are games. These are sideshows. People are getting caught up in battles over social media memes. We've got to keep this is not a game. We've got to keep the government open for the people. I don't know why this is so complicated. And to my friend Hakeem, who I was asked about, man, just ignore it. I mean, Gavin Newsom was trolling me last night. He painted me like a minion. He painted me yellow with big glasses and overalls. And I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, they're horrible.
You don't respond to it. For all my friends, R's and D's, don't respond to it. Get to work, do the people's business, and let's get on with it. Thank y'all.
By the way, that was a very mature response on what he said. Adam, go ahead.
Did you see what Hakeem Jeffries said to Trump? When he's like, oh, you know, you're going to do this racist, these epithets, you know, say it to my face. Say it to buddy, you think Trump is scared of you?
You're going to throw
Jeffries?
that down?
Trump is meeting with Putin, Kim Jong-un. He's trying to solve wars. And you think he's
put the clip of Hakeem Jeffries actually
of
reacting?
The minority leader in the House? I'm not saying like actual minority. I'm saying what he is as a minority.
Yeah,
but Trump ain't scared of you, dog. And if this is what you're going to do, go down the rabbit hole, try to fight Trump about a sombrero, you're going to lose this battle. Play that clip if you have that, Rob.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me.
Oh, yeah.
Think of something tough. Think of something tough.
Don't
think of something tough.
Cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Maxine Waters. Tell him, Maxine.
And now play with Trump
balls under that
Maxine
skirt.
looks like she's wearing an old mask of
Trump
herself.
Do?
Huh?
Did you have the clip of what Trump did, Rob?
Oh, yeah, we saw that. We played that.
We played that on the show that you weren't.
Yeah, that you weren't here.
Hey, listen, you know, you can't win them all. But so what's going on right now with this, you know, fight over funding the government and, you know, are they throwing things in? The CR, continuing resolution. We've seen this thing before, Tom. We know what happens here. But this was reminiscent of what happened in 2018. Remember when you sat down with Trump and you literally said, you know, my favorite moment of your presidency, Mr. President, was this moment right here when him and Chuck and Nancy were arguing about the government funding, and Trump said, I will own it. Do you have that clip, Rob?
The last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened
20
it up
times.
very quickly. And
20 times.
I don't want to do what you did.
20 times
Chuck,
you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wool. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said
okay,
it.
you want to put that on
You've
my...
said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you what,
disagree.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security.
Bingo.
Because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle of shutting down. And I'm going to shut it down for
Nancy,
border
but we
security.
believe
Let me tell you something.
shut it down.
Let me tell you something right now. You know, revisionist history. Do you understand what type of leadership that was at the time? Because this was still a couple years into his presidency.
Russia collusion,
We don't know.
everything's happening.
It's racist, the wall. What that fight was over in retrospect, you know, they said Trump was right about everything. Here in retrospect, they were fighting about $5 billion to fund the wall. Now, 7 years later, don't you think we'd love to have that wall? After the 10 million plus illegals have been let
20,
in since
I'll say 20.
the Biden administration, don't you think that $5 billion would have been well served? Ironically enough, this was the longest government shutdown in American history. I think it was a little over a month, 35 days. And you know what it apparently cost the American economy?
How much?
$11 billion.
Weird.
So we could have just paid the $5 billion, built the wall, had some success from it, avoided all the drama, and we could have saved that money. What's better than that? When they say Trump was right about everything, here's another
Pat,
example.
can I just show one thing, not to go back, but Stephanopoulos and all the media, I want to congratulate all of you because they just hit an all-time low trust. Tom, look at that. Public confidence in media is a record low. Look at that.
How did that happen?
Went even lower than what it was before.
Lower. So
How low can you go?
And they're not
Take it to the floor?
shifting gears. Like these people are just on a runaway train and they just will not let up. What more is it going to take for you guys to stop this nonsense, like lying to the American people? Because people are still watching this crap.
You know how
and
they
believe
say,
in you.
you're absolutely right. You know how they say that like elections have consequences. You know, right now the Democratic Party really just stands for booing Trump. Trump's going to win. He's going to lose. He's going to have some.
That's what
he's going to
Gavin-
have some
that's all
gains. He's going to
Gavin
have some
talks
losses.
about.
But the Democratic Party is just L, and all they're doing is booing Trump. But how low could it go? I think they're going to have a couple losses, meaning they lost the presidency. Kamala still thinks it's the closest election ever.
Yeah. Well, she was
Wrong.
probably drinking.
They need to lose the midterms, and they need to lose maybe 2028 to realize this is where we're at. Because if they still think they have a chance, they're not going to try to change course.
But I'm saying the future looks very glim for. It's not
we believe
good.
the future looks brighter.
Yeah, for us it does, but not for them.
All right, let's go to the next story here. So, let's see which one this is. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Rip-off Las Vegas faces another huge tourism slump thanks to government shutdown as Americans avoid flying over fears of travel chaos and plane crashes. Give me a flipping break with that title. But let me read it to you. So what is this, Rob? Is this the clip about the article?
Yes.
Go for it.
It was another rough month for Las Vegas tourism. In May, nearly every major stat took a dip. Strip gaming revenue dropped 4% year over year, with downtown down over 11%, and the Boulder Strip was off by 8.3%. Visitation fell by 6.5%, both for the month and year to date. And hotel occupancy on the Strip dropped by 3.2%. Even airport traffic and cars entering from California were down. Surprisingly, the average daily room rate also slipped below $200 for the first time in a while. So that is good news. The only bright spot, convention attendance was up nearly 11%. Is the era of nonstop growth and sky-high prices finally cooling off? The numbers say maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's so bad that you know how they have these waitress girls that walk around? They can't afford them no more. Most of them are not. Like 62% are transgenders now.
Really?
No, I'm allegedly. It's what people are saying.
Well, Vagistan?
No. So I just got back from Vegas yesterday. We went to Vegas, visited MGM. Excited about all 2026. We'll be at the MGM. Sick. The amount of surprise we'll be making with that is going to be awesome. But we're there. We're walking around. We finished the meeting. We take off at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday. And we had a full day yesterday. I finished at 10 o'clock last night with Tom. Had a very good dinner we had last night.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, very good stuff. But while we're there, we're looking at MGM's new, what do you call it, the pool party they do outside, like, I don't know what it's called, but it's called the Palm Beach or something at the MGM. Yeah. Nice area with the pool parties. We may be shutting down now, doing something with it. But I asked the guy, let me ask you, how is tourism right now in Vegas? We're walking around the tables, nothing, nobody's there. He said, tourism is down dramatically, okay? That's the guy I was actually talking to. Tourism is down dramatically, okay? Tourism is down dramatically. He looked like that guy. Tourism is down dramatically. Events are up. So people doing conventions, Vegas is slowly taking over Orlando. It used to be Orlando for many years for convention town. But Vegas is becoming a convention capital of America today. Tom, would you agree with that Vegas is it now?
Yeah, very much so. They've built a lot of stuff there trying to attract the convention crowd back and a lot of things since COVID. But now, all of a sudden, they don't have the other half of it. They don't have the tourism.
Yeah. So to me, when you hear stories like this with Vegas, you're talking to drivers, you're talking to different people, you're talking to what people are saying. It is kind of happening. It's just not what it once was 25 years ago. When we used to go to Vegas, Vinny.
Oh, man.
If you think about it, I mean, it is.
Remember.
So now what companies put Vegas out of business? OnlyFans, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Online gambling,
Yeah.
Tinder. You know who else who's putting Vegas out of business in a big way? Everybody who's a health podcaster that's got young men not drinking,
Not gambling.
not smoking, not doing, like they're changing the habits of health.
Good. Mm-hmm.
So you're like, why am I going to go there do that? The habits are changing. Chip Wilson and I did a podcast about 10 years ago. Chip Wilson is the founder of Lululemon. And he said something to me. He says, Patrick, in 20 years, almost everybody in America will be in shape or will know whether they're in shape or not. But you're going to see six-packs are no longer going to be a big deal. I said, why is that? He says, because clothes are going to become smart. Clothes, you're going to wear clothes, and the clothes are going to tell you, stand up and walk for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Sit
watches
down.
are doing it already.
He's going to say, go drink some water. Your body is this. He said, we're going to have smart clothes, not smart watches, not smart clothes, things that you wear, right? So who knows what's going to happen to Vegas with the stuff that they're experiencing right now. I just kind of wanted to share that because I was in Vegas yesterday. And I saw that article. I said, probably a good idea for us to bring it up. Adam, you look like you want to say something.
I was going to say, what are they going to
Vegas.
do? What are they going to do to fix it?
Well, yeah,
That's
I was
good.
just going to say that. I mean, every company is going to have to, or every attraction, or every city is at that point going to have to reinvent themselves. So, what's the value prop that Vegas brings to the table? Pat, you highlighted it. I was just going to kind of reiterate that. Gambling, less people are gambling. And if you can do it, you can do it online. You can do sports gambling. You don't need to go to Vegas to do that. Drinking, less people are drinking. You talked about that. Sex, you don't need to go all the way to Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, what also happens on OnlyFans can stay on OnlyFans or on Tinder or on Grindr. Shout out to you, Mike Johnson. Nightlife, I mean, less people are going out there partying as much these days. People used to go get married in Vegas. Britney Spears famously got married in Vegas. Nobody's getting married these days. Who's crazy? Who does that? So they need to reinvent themselves. Vegas used to be known Sinatra, Elvis. Have you ever seen the movie Swingers when they're like, we're going to Vegas? Yeah. Vegas. Nobody's excited for Vegas anymore. PBD is actually single-handedly keeping Vegas afloat with his conferences, and that's exactly what they're doing. So what's the new value prop Vegas is bringing to the table?
Nothing.
Yeah, really.
They're in bad
Actually,
shape.
think about it.
Like, what can they do to shift it?
Oakland A's are about to go to Vegas. Did you know that? Tom, did you know that?
Yes, the Oakland A's will play in Sacramento until the stadium is built in Vegas.
Yeah, we drove by it. They're building a stadium on the Strip. That's the stadium right there. Look at that. Oakland Athletics are relocating to Vegas. Go back, Rob. That's what they're thinking. Is that what it's going to look like? That's a sick looking
Sick,
stadium.
but horrible timing right now.
It's gonna be hot as hell to go over there.
Hot.
Hot as hell to go over there. But we'll see.
Nobody's there.
Do you
We'll
think
see what's
Vegas
gonna
can
happen.
reinvent themselves and make a comeback, Pat?
Do you think bookstores can reinvent themselves and make a comeback?
Nope.
No.
Why?
Because
Well, they can if they completely change their business model.
Which is what?
If you bookstores used to be a place to go buy books, just like Starbucks was a place to go buy coffee. At this point, social gatherings and getting people together still is important, right? Why do we do the vault? Hey, you can go watch it online.
The
and go do
mall. I go to the
manual.
mall to get
Come
chicks
on
with
down.
Umberto all the time,
So
bro.
people are still going to want to hang out, but what they're going to do when they're hanging out, I guess, varies. But bookstores, if you have reasons to come together, get together, group settings, what have you.
Yeah.
Nobody goes to a bookstore to buy a book. That's what you buy Amazon or Audible or anything like that.
That was the theory of, the theory that they had on the Oakland Raiders going to Las Vegas was that, Adam and I, let's say we live in Cleveland, and, we have a couple friends. We love the Cleveland Browns, and it's December 10th. It's cold. It's between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Not much going on in Cleveland, but Cleveland will be at the Raiders in Las Vegas. We say, hey, man, let's grab a Southwest flights and let's go out to Las Vegas and see the Browns play the Raiders this weekend. And they pull a lot of away team fans into Vegas for those games. But guess what? Those people do not spend as much as they thought they would be spending, Pat, in Vegas. They go to average hotels. They come to see the Browns play. They go back. They're not dropping another $1,000, $2,000 on partying and gaming. They're not. Of course. So the whole thesis about the Raiders being a magnet for all the away team fans.
Yeah, it's a small magnet.
It's coming true, but
not
it's
a big
not.
magnet.
No, it's what I said to the driver yesterday. I said, no, who goes to road baseball games? Nobody goes to road baseball games except if it's the big names. Cardinals, Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers. Who else you put on that list? No one's going to Marlins on the road. You're not doing that.
But so what was your point with the bookstore?
If you think bookstores are not making a comeback, Vegas is not going to make the same comeback because technology put them out.
Wow.
Tinder, Bumble, OnlyFans, how they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Yeah. No, nowadays it's what happens on OnlyFans, what happens on Tinder, what happens on, online casinos. It's there now. It's there now that you have. So who knows? I have a lot of great memories in Vegas as a young man coming up, and I was in Vegas quite often. At one point, I was going every other week. I would drive up Zizix, if anybody knows that exit.
Yeah,
right?
Zizix.
Yeah.
Zizix.
So if you know...
Zizix.
Zizix. Dirty. You're a dirty man.
I learned Armenian
You're
from
a dirty
my
man.
friend Artie.
Here's what can I give a contradiction statement right now? I think, actually, my buddy Michael Sartain talks about this in Vegas. So cities start to expand, and then they reach the breaking point where it's like, all right, we have too many clubs, we have too many venues, we have too many nightlife things going, we have too many casinos. Stop building. And then they're gonna contract, and still the great casinos will still exist. Still the great clubs like
so.
XS
I think events not going
and
away.
Marquee and all this stuff that Jason Strauss and these guys do will still exist, but the newcomers, they will fall off. It's like if you have 10 great bars in your city and that's the max, and then you try to invent 12, 15, 20, all right, those 10 are going to go out of business. I mean, listen, but the original 10 will stay.
Let's go to another story here to see if we're going to be pulling this off or not. Will PBD Podcast go to Dearborn for a podcast? Well, let's find out. Dearborn Islamic Center holds memorial mourning a year after Hezbollah's chief, Nasrallah, martyrdom. Okay, let me read this to you because this is Adam's story. Okay, so here we go. A Dearborn, Michigan Islamic Institute hosted a memorial marking 1 year since Hezbollah Chief Hassan Nasrallah's death, praising the U.S. Designated terror leader's bravery, featuring tributes to Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and telling attendees the Iranian ruler is our leader. Held this past Friday at Hadi Youth Community Center, the event marked the 1 year anniversary of the organization's organizers called Nasrallah's martyrdom and drew attendees, including parents with young children. Hezbollah is designated by the U.S. as a foreign terrorist organization. Usama Abdul Ghani, described by the group as a Hadi Institute's spiritual leader and linked to the affiliate K5 Hadi Montessori School, addressed the audience beside a framed portrait of Nasrallah during a live stream program. And here's what he had to say.
I welcome each and every one of you. This is an occasion that many of us probably never thought we would live to see.
Nasrallah
we never
didn't.
imagined that our Sayyid would be martyred in our lifetime and that 1 year would have passed since his martyrdom. Brothers and sisters, we were blessed to be in the presence of one of Allah's greatest awliya. Now, of course, we miss him. We miss his smile. We miss his love for humanity. We miss how he would clarify what was going on the ground for us, how he would tell us our responsibility. We miss his bravery. This camp, the camp of divine resistance, the camp of Hussein, is now led by our leader, Imam Khamenei. Hopefully, the martyrdom of the Sayyid will inspire us to be like the Sayyid. One lesson from the Sayyid. One of the best points about the Sayyid, and he had so many, was his strength when it came to explaining the truth. Everyone loved him. Everyone.
Pause it right there.
Inshallah.
Adam, thoughts?
So, to be clear, this is a Muslim cleric in Dearborn, Michigan, singing praises for Hassan Nasrallah, who was the leader of Hezbollah, the Lebanese terrorist mafia regime. Is that, just to be clear, that's who he's talking about?
Exactly.
Checking
When he's
notes.
saying,
Yep, you're right.
Everybody loved him. He was our hero. He was our martyr.
Love for humanity is my favorite part.
Any normal American, forget about where you stand on Israel. This is an enemy to the United States. What Hezbollah has done, starting with the Marine barracks in the 80s when they killed how many Marines, Tom? Hundreds of Marines.
269, I believe.
Okay. To this day, you know, they say, show me your friends, show me your future. Who were his friends? Who are his friends? He's saying the Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran, the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard, right? The Quds Force, General Soleimani. These are his friends. Bashar al-Assad in Syria, that was his buddy. The man who helped kill, what, almost 1 million Syrians? Don't say anything about that because we can't talk about that. Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, Yahya Sinwar. Do you know these names? Palestinian Islamic Jihad. These are his friends. And now we have people in America saying, that's our guy. This is what we love. This is our martyr. So much so that we're holding a memorial and we want to name a street after this guy? Guys, the downstream effect of what's going on here is in America, you could say whatever you want to say, believe what you want to believe. But there's going to be a culture clash at one point. You know, we see what's happening in the UK now. Tommy Robinson, just a list of events. In the last few weeks, Tommy Robinson did a 1 million Brit march where to come out and just show love. There was 0 issues, 0. What is he talking about? He's talking about Muslim extremism, Pakistani rape gangs, what's going on there. The week after that, Keir Starmer, the progressive leftist prime minister of the UK, came out and recognized the state of Palestine. A week after that, it's Yom Kippur in London, the holiest day of the Jewish year. A Muslim terrorist named Jihad, that's his name, comes out and kills 2 people, 2 Jews trying to go to synagogue. So the downstream effects of, okay, we're evangelizing martyrs and we're basically paying homage to terrorists. Now the downstream, the woke left has teamed up with the Islamic right. It's called the red-green synergist. And now you have Keir Starmer recognizing Palestine, and then 2 Jews get killed on their way to temple by a literal jihadist. I mean, you could say that you can't make this stuff up, but this is the reality that we're living right now.
Rob, what is
This is Keir Starmer when he recognized the state of Palestine.
Go for it.
In the face of the growing horror in the Middle East, we are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and a 2-state solution. That means a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable Palestinian state. At the moment, we have neither. Ordinary people, Israeli and Palestinian, deserve to live in peace, to try to rebuild their lives free from violence and suffering. That's what the British people desperately...
Stop it right there. So this is what I want to go to with this. Next story is Israel gives Palestinians last opportunity to flee Gaza City as full-scale invasions looms. So this whole thing about Qatar, this whole thing about the apology, this whole thing about the back and forth that took place, this could be the first time, Tom, that a Muslim country like Qatar is going to find a way to side with Israel to prevent Hamas. Hamas may be left by themselves, by a lot of people, if they're not getting that support, right? If that ends up taking place. Rob, what is that clip that you have there?
This was just the announcement yesterday that Israel has given the people in Gaza their final warning to get out of the city.
Go ahead, Rob.
Israel's defense minister today said Gaza City was nearly fully encircled, the last chance for civilians to get out. On the coast road, those able to flee on foot, afford the cost of transport, of somewhere to sleep at the other end, were doing so as the city behind them continued to be pounded.
Everything's being fired at us. Everything's destroyed. There are explosions everywhere. There's nothing left for us.
Another reason for this renewed scramble, Israel's warning that this road would soon be partially blocked. The Israeli military said the checkpoint would be placed on the intersection of the Al-Rashid coastal road and what Israel calls the Netzarim corridor. Civilians would still be allowed south with inspections, but travel north back towards Gaza City would be prohibited. But this afternoon, no checkpoint, instead reports of approaching tanks and gunfire from the air. A patch of land meters away, repeatedly strafed. On one of the donkey carts, a teenager nursing what looks at first like an injured arm, but in reality is barely that. His left hand connected to his body by little more than bone. Injured by shelling that killed a woman and 2 young children as they too headed towards supposed safety.
When we got to the Netzarim crossing, we found out that there was bombing going on and tanks firing and quadcopters and people dead on the road.
War's a nasty thing, man. You can pause it right there. So, Tom, what do you think is going to happen here? Because the back and forth is the 20 point that we read yesterday or on Wednesday, right? Is this, Rob, is this...
So I have Trump and Netanyahu. This is from the press conference where they announced the peace deal, and here's what both of them said. If Hamas doesn't agree to the ceasefire, which earlier this morning it was reported they're not.
I think they're egging Hamas on, and they're trying to get others like a Qatar to agree with them for the first time. So that would be Qatar, Israel, and U.S. being on the same page where Hamas may be left stranded. I think they're cornering Hamas. Whether it works or not, who knows? But go ahead, Rob, play this clip.
Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible. They're the only one left. Everyone else has accepted it. But I have a feeling that we're going to have a positive answer. But if not, as you know, Bibi, you'd have our full backing to do what you would have to do.
Okay, for you to do what you have to do. And then this is what Bibi said.
But if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President,
Reject
or if they
your plan,
supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself. This can be done the easy way, or it can be done the hard way.
Tom, what are you thinking?
I think basically that there's a lot of discussions that are going on in the background of who gets what. Because just like when they negotiated what was going to happen with Berlin, and now we look back over history and we find all the side deals and everything that went with that, with the Russians, the British, and the Americans negotiating on Berlin, which ended there. It's a similar thing. Over the history of war, you come down to the end and you put it all together. And I think right now the rest of the world is in a spot where Hamas is being left where they are, and they have a choice. And you either do it this way or you take this deal. And I thought to myself, what are the odds that if I'm negotiating with somebody, 2 and 3 point deals, and Pat, this happens in business, a 2 and 3 point deal, you can usually get through it as long as none of those points are crazy points. You can get people to it, but a 20-point deal seems to be a little more complicated. How do you get somebody like Hamas that doesn't have a working government?
I have an idea there.
Huh?
I have an idea. I think I have an idea. But go ahead. I want to hear.
But I think that, and I'm going to use a word here, but is Hamas being either baited or dared not to do it, and then Israel is now going to get the green light from the U.S. and Qatar to basically do what they've announced right there, which is make the final sweep through the city. Everything gets cleaned out, and then we get to this this area that will be managed by a consortium that's chaired by Trump.
Vinny.
I mean, and you said it. War is hell. Like all those people, my heart just like all those people that are leaving, those kids and the moms and even the men. I notice how everybody always says women and children. There's young boys too here, just like the guy you saw. Where are they going? Like where are they supposed to go? And it's like I see them bombing, and you guys saw what Gaza looks like at this point. As long as these hostages are there, and Bibi made it clear, they're gonna keep going. So my thing is like just hurry up and get it. If you're going to do what you're going to do regardless, it's been dragged out for 2 years. Just do it. Go down there. And I said this on Wednesday. People are going to die. The odds are these hostages, because as long as this, I don't believe Hamas, Pat, at all. You're negotiating with terrorists. Like they're going to go, yeah, you know what? Donald Trump said this. They don't care. Those people are willing. They want to die to martyr themselves. They want to go to heaven and get their virgins. And and guess what? Killing Jewish people in their mind is a bonus. So it's like, how long? How long? And I have no idea. Where are these people going to go, Pat? Like they're walking to where? Just the south of Gaza to go where? Stand outside? Nobody's taking them in Gaza. You know what I mean? I think this has been a 2-year dragged out thing. We know what you were going to do. Do it. Get it over with. And then you're mad because everybody's judging Israel. It's like, bro, hurry up. This was going to happen anyway. You were going to do it. It was inevitable. But you don't want the optics? I think it would have been done a completely different way than they're doing it. I just feel bad for those people that have nowhere to go.
What do you think about what Vinny said?
Well, I think Vinny is using common sense and he's using his eyes. And I understand Vinny's been sort of, taking the side of he doesn't want to see people dead. And I respect that. But at the same time, nobody wants to see people dead other than jihadists. But war is ugly and it's messy and it's not fun. I know people fighting in the IDF. And none of them say, bro, my goal in life is to go kill Palestinians. They literally say, I'm protecting Israel. I'm trying to be here to get the hostages back. And I'm following orders. But the linchpin here, there's the United States, there's Israel, there's the Palestinians. We know that Iran. But the linchpin here on this specific thing is Qatar. Now, Qatar has a choice. Nobody's mentioned Qatar up until they got the World Cup, and all of a sudden they're like, who the hell is Qatar? Yeah. They're one of the wealthiest, smallest countries in the world. They're an oil Gulf state. Now, Qatar has a choice to enter the world of working together, world peace, solving issues, or you can continue to do what you've been doing and funding terrorism. You can't have it both ways because the world is on to you. Here's even Trump commenting on what Qatar does.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding.
Yeah. So I don't know when that's from. Whenever it's from, that's the reality is Qatar has been funding terrorism. I would nothing more than Qatar to say, you know what? Let me go take a page out of what the UAE has done. And normalize relationships. Yeah. Let me see what Saudi is doing and position themselves as a place that you're actually a deal maker and a peacemaker, not funding terrorism all over the world.
Here's what I think's going on. Here's what I think's going on with the 20-point. The 20-point is so difficult to accomplish, so difficult to agree upon, so difficult to accept that they know Hamas is not going to follow the 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
But this is their way of putting Hamas on blast to the world and in a very weird way, this is going to sound weird, in a very weird way, my opinion, folks, this is not based on anything else. I could be wrong. In a way, I think Trump is forcing Qatar to not side with Hamas, where Qatar has to distance themselves from Hamas.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, that call that they say him and Bibi had, that was an intense call. I believe it happened. Where he's like, what the hell is wrong with you attacking Qatar? You better apologize. So I think Trump has so much power right now, the way he's been able to put everybody in their place, my opinion, that he sees this situation like, hey, Qatar, listen, we know your history. Relax.
Yeah.
We know what you did to get the World Cup. Relax. We know what you funded over the years. Calm down. Israel, we all know what you want. I mean, we get it. We understand. Okay? But if you want me to broker this deal, don't go out of your way and try to do something to Qatar when you know you need Qatar in this situation. So it's like, hey, Hamas, Qatar, you need Israel. Israel needs Qatar. Pump the brakes, relax. Everybody needs to get rid of Hamas, because if you're not for getting rid of Hamas, I'm not going to do deals with you, Qatar. And Qatar is probably behind closed doors asking for something. So my intuition is that in the next 3 months, there could be an announcement made of something that benefits Qatar. It's something that Qatar is asking. Do you know what I'm saying, Tom? Like, Qatar is asking for something.
Like, if we help you out, what do we get?
You want me to do this for you? You better get behind this and say Hamas has done it, you don't support it. And Qatar is like, well, yeah, what? Then don't. But you don't understand. No, but now you don't understand. You're asking me. I'm not asking you for nothing. So I think there's a bigger offer on the table that Qatar is going to choose over Hamas. And I think Qatar, whether they want to or not, I think they'll sacrifice Hamas to get the bigger deal that they want from the president. And I don't know what that deal is.
I tend to agree with you. There's a couple things about Qatar we have to take a look at. There was a massive investigation that went into the World Cup group. And there's a guy that ran the World Cup. And it was rumored that Qatar basically rigged the World Cup.
That's right.
Being awarded, and that whole thing was just stunk, because it's supposed to bring common people together in countries that have a tradition of what international calls football. So that's France, that's Italy, that's Germany, that's Brazil, that's Argentina. PBD, those should be the countries to get a World Cup. And in the U.S., the U.S. women have won 3 of 6 World Cups looking back. It was there. But Qatar was so corrupt in that. And then they've also been funding the terrorism. I believe that Trump is cornering Qatar, I agree with you, into something, and now Qatar has to agree to it to get other things they need. I mean, I don't think it's any mistake. Oh, Mr. President, you like big planes? Here's one. Right. And they give you the big plane. And I want every inch of that plane scrubbed, for anything, right? And so I think Qatar is being called to account. And I agree with you. There's something big beneath the surface, because the president is pulling the leash on them. At the same time, he's trying to corner, I believe,
right,
the Hamas. And
Can I give you one different perspective, Pat?
Please.
Because I understand that Trump probably said, listen, Bibi, we got to get a deal with Qatar. So we need you to apologize because we do need them. And they do. But at the same hand, I actually think that Israel sort of forced Qatar's hand. Because if you look at what Israel did, I mean, listen, what Israel has done with the beepers in Lebanon, taking out what they've done with Gaza. Think about the capitals they've taken. Beirut with Hezbollah, Syria, Bashar al-Assad, Tehran, what they've done. And then they went after Doha, the capital of Qatar, or the major city in Qatar. Now, Qatar was now forced to do something about it. And I'm sure on one hand, Trump was like, listen, we got a base in Qatar. We got to be friends with these guys.
And they didn't hit a base in the middle of Norway. They hit that residential area where the guy was staying.
And now that war that Qatar has been slowly funding, now that thing just hit home. And it's like, whoa. We've been doing this in all these other cities. Now it's happening in our house? No. So were they a fan of that? Obviously not. Were they upset with that? Of course. But did that force Qatar to say, all right, guys, we'll come to the table now? Because now you're doing stuff in our house. Is that the best approach for Israel to do? I don't know. But if this deal gets done, you could look at that moment when Israel attacked Qatar as a pivotal moment here.
If this gets done, what a freaking beautiful way to corner Qatar. What a beautiful way to corner Qatar. Honestly, and I'm talking purely from a
strategic standpoint.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, what a way on the public scale to corner Qatar, okay, and get them to play ball. If it happens, who knows? Again, we're still going through.
What are the odds you think this deal happens?
That what?
That Hamas releases the hostages. They work out a deal, the 72-hour
I don't
thing.
think that's what they're doing. I think the way you look at when you're making an offer like this, you have to look from the binary standpoint. What are the odds Hamas is going to do it? No, destroy them. And hey, put it on Hamas. What is the odds that Hamas is going to be like, oh shit, we better release him? Release him. Then what are you going to do? It's one of the two things that is going to happen.
Yeah.
But either way, Hamas is screwed. Hamas is screwed because they got the funders. They got the other side. They're like, shit. Do we want to play ball and be cool? Do we want to be on the bigger scale of everything that's going on? I think they got. And by the way, you know, Israel's biggest challenge right now, whatever people want to call it, Israel's biggest challenge right now is around that. What is that article that you want to respond to, Adam? I want to go to that because it kind of goes with this. The one that says how the world feels about Israelis. What is that?
About Israel?
Yeah, where's that one right there? Okay, there it is. So check this out. New York Times poll, support for Israel drops almost entirely due to Democrats. This is Breitbart. Rob, if you can pull this up. So here we go. American support is plummeting, but remains largely steady amongst Republicans. A new poll revealed Monday the drop is almost entirely to a precipitous decline in support for Israel amongst Democrats. The New York Times Siena poll was reported under the headline, American support for Israel dramatically declines. However, the real news was buried paragraphs later. Much of the shift in views of Israel has been driven by a sharp decline in support by Democratic voters. Republicans largely support to continue Israel. 7 in 10 Republicans say they support providing additional aid to Israel. Interesting. A majority of Republicans say Israel should continue the military campaign until all hostages were released, even if it meant civilian casualties. 47% said that the Israeli military was taking enough precautions to prevent civilian deaths. Republicans still sympathize with Israel more than Palestinians, 64% to 9%. Wow. But those numbers indicate a drop of support of 12 percentage points from 2023 when it was 76% siding with Israel. One of those reasons for the Democrats failing support for Israel is the increasing radicalization of the party. Okay, so let me get this straight. So Republicans dropped from 76 to 64 in 2 years, 12%. But what is it saying about Democrats?
Yeah, what is it? It doesn't even show the numbers. I would love to find those numbers.
Can you actually go to the article, Rob, and see if it drops the Democratic numbers? Go ahead, Adam. You wanted to talk about this. So,
well, yeah. I mean, the Democrat. Is this the numbers right here? Do you think Israel intentionally? All right, no. What about approval ratings? Do you have that anywhere, Rob?
Let me see.
It has to be in the article with New York Times.
No charts. I can check though.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is what I've been saying all along. The Democratic Party at this point is no friend to America. Well, Israel, our allies, the Democratic Party stands for...
Right there. Nearly 2 years ago, Democrats were divided evenly, with 34% sympathizing with Israel, 31% sympathizing with Palestinians. Now rank and file Democrats across the country overwhelmingly side with Palestinians, 54%. So it went from 34 to Israel to now only 13%. That's a 21% drop-off for Democrats. And Palestinians went from 31% to 54%.
Yeah.
So it's really 54 pro-Palestine, only 13% pro-Israel in the New York Times article. More than 8 in 10 Democrats said Israel should stop the war even if the country had not achieved its goals, a notable increase from roughly 60% who said the same thing 2 years ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, as Tom says, words talk, Vinny screams. And that's what's going on here right now. The Democratic Party is no friend to America at this point. Yes. So forget about Israel. Let's isolate Israel. Let's talk about America. You know, the right of America, I'm not talking about the extreme right, and I'm not talking about the extreme left. I'm saying the right of America, they have one thing that the Democratic Party is lacking, and that is just common sense, guys. When you think of someone wearing an American flag pin, what party do you think of? Republicans or Democrats?
Republicans.
It's not even close. When you think of someone burning the American flag,
Democrat.
Who do you think of?
Democrat.
Bingo. So, you know, Americans, say what you want to say about these, you know, white Christian nationalists. They love America, bro. And they love the Constitution. They love God. They love what our country was founded on. They understand that we're not perfect, but they want to perfect and have progress in our land. The Democratic Party, they don't stand for the flag. They stand for every other flag out there, and I wish they didn't. They're doing the LGBTQ flag. You good here, Pat?
I mean, I start the water even lower.
Pat,
and it
what
still
did I
does
tell
it.
you about interrupting me when I'm talking, Pat?
Nice.
Unbelievable. The Democratic
Adam's
Party.
about to get smacked upside.
That's true.
Pop out?
Listen, we don't need a gays for Gaza issue right now, Pat. Let's just keep the cross-border situation. Let's be friends here.
Finish your point, buddy.
Okay. But the Democratic Party, they believe in every other flag other than the American flag. The LGBT flag, the trans flag, the BLM flag, the gays for Gaza flag. Yes, I threw that in there. But, you know, you look at the people who represent the Democratic Party at this point, the AOCs, the Rashida Tlaibs, the Ilhan Omars, the Greta Thunberg doing her little sailing expedition out there. This is where we're at. And it just goes to show, excuse me, sir, did I do something wrong?
No.
Man, you're
good.
Okay.
We're an interactive podcast. We can move
That's
around.
true. You got to roll with the punches here.
Yeah.
Anyway, am I about to get slapped?
No.
Guys,
No,
this is
you're
why you got to
fine,
stay
buddy.
focused
You
here right
should.
now. So,
Okay, let's go to the next story.
no, but
I mean, you got 20
I tried
seconds.
to, but
I'm
the
waiting.
point is
You've
this:
been
the
going
Democratic
for
Party.
quite some time.
So let me land this plane. To
Hurry
any
up.
Jew out there
Yeah.
who still thinks they're a Democrat, like I was in the past, who thinks that you're all about tikkun olam and helping the world. You're helping the people that want to eliminate you. You're helping what's the dude in New York? Mamdani. You're helping these people. You're helping the Greta Thunbergs of the world, and that's what's happening there. And it turns out that all the stories that we've been hearing about the right is done with Israel. The stats don't say that at all. Still, the vast majority of Republicans and conservatives still support Israel. I know that Charlie Kirk wrote that letter to Bibi. I don't know if you guys addressed this. And it was, I'm on your side. I'm here for you. I'll always defend you. But here's some suggestions that I think you can do better. Now, there's some talking heads on the internet. I won't name names, but they sort of rhyme with Schmanda Schmoens. And they're talking and literally telling lies about this letter for Bibi Netanyahu, or telling lies about the meeting that happened with Bill Ackman. So it turns out that Charlie was
What is the
right.
letter? Tell me about the letter, because I don't know what people are saying about the letter.
Okay, here's the actual letter.
I haven't heard anything about, I heard about it, but I didn't read any of it.
It's pretty long.
It's long.
I'm not going to do it.
I'll
It's
summarize
too
it.
long. Yeah.
I'll summarize it.
Rob, can you put it on ChatGPT and say summarize what's in the letter?
Sure.
Thank you.
And I'll do my best. Dear Mr. Prime Minister, I'm your friend. I want the best for you. I'll always be by your side. At the same time, here's a few suggestions that I would recommend to win the hearts and minds of people to come on your side.
Which is the right way to write a letter.
Yes,
That's
you're losing
way
the
to-
PR war because TikTok, owned by China, and the youth is following the lead of the Gays for Gaza Brigade and the Free Palestine Brigade, and the TikTok owns our youth. Here's my suggestion to combat what we're seeing. I'm here for you. I want to be your friend. Allow me to help you. Here's my suggestions. It came as a friend.
Here, let me read it. Kirk from his letter
yes.
comes from a place of deep love for Israel. Jewish people expresses alarm over rising anti-Israel, anti-Semitic numbers. Okay, got it. His core argument is that Israel loses an information war, especially online, which he warns will erode political and military support for U.S. He states that this negative message flows downstream from social media to campuses to even conservative circles. Kirk recounts how during the campus speaking towards a large share of the questions he received are hostile towards Israel, apartheid, ethnic cleansings, subsidizing genocide. He notes that sometimes he feels like he ends up defending Israel more vehemently than the Israeli government itself on those fronts. Criticism Israel's. He takes issues with Israel relying heavily on surrogates and non-Israels to defend its narrative. He criticized the style of Israel's public diplomacy, press briefings, and spokespeople that seem outdated and passive, standing at a dimly lit podium reminiscent of 1970s news coverage. Interesting, very detailed. He gives a 7-point proposal: build a rapid response media communications team, a key in a political campaign. Okay, create an Israel Truth Network, and central hub platform from debunking misinformation, aggressive pro-Israel content, and coordinating with influencers, educators, and social media voices. Okay, go a little bit higher, Rob. Sending release hostages on a U.S. speaking tour. Interesting. Promote Israel's everyday life stories, interviewing ordinary Israelis, Jews, Arabs, secular religious, about what they love about Israel and responding to misinformation directly. Framing the Israel narrative more like a political campaign. Defining Israel's identity proactively, responding to attacks, deploying surrogates, and building a first-person voice for Israel in English, more clearly articulating the Iranian threat and Israel's position. to skeptical younger audience and targeting younger community, recruit more staff in their 20s, 30s. Let me tell you, this is why I miss the guy. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, this is why I loved Charlie Kirk. Like, this is diplomacy. You know, he's telling you I'm talking to kids and they're not siding with you. But here's my suggestion to you. And he didn't do this publicly to get credit for it.
Yep.
He had to get killed for us to read this. What I take away from this has nothing to do with Israel, has nothing to do with kids. It has to do with how special of a guy this guy was.
Yes.
It upsets the hell out of me that we lost this guy. The more I hear stories like this, this guy was truly a synergist get killed, man. It's unfortunate. Synergist, you know, is a very tough job to have because when you're a synergist, you know what you're trying to do? You're in the middle telling both sides your shit stinks. Yeah. And guess who likes you? Both sides end up hating you because you're willing to stand up and say, relax, pump the brakes. Like, I'm giving sincere feedback. And you take a guy out like this that his influence was growing exponentially. Anyways, what were you gonna make a point with this letter because we didn't address it? Or
the whole concept of what we're talking about is Charlie Kirk. It was, you know, people have used Charlie Kirk's death to gain eyeballs and followers and promote their own opinions and their own agenda. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. But the reality is this letter of Charlie Kirk denouncing Israel is anything but that.
I want to say something on that. Let me say something on that.
Sure.
Let me say something on that. And I'm not one that is uncomfortable in any of these situations. This is what I'll tell you. If we follow Hanlon's razor, okay, you have to follow it for people you like and people you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Hanlon's razor is never attributed malice, that which is adequately explained by stupidity or what? It encourages people to consider less malevolent, more mundane explanations such as incompetence, error, or lack of information before assuming someone acted with bad intentions. There's also a quote in this by Napoleon, which I'll read. A lot of time people give credit to this quote to Napoleon. Here's what Napoleon once said. Napoleon once said, I want to read this to you. Never ascribe to malice that which is adequately explained by incompetence. And Goethe, if I'm saying it correctly, old guy that would write plays from 1774, in one of the plays he wrote, it said the following: misunderstanding and neglect create more confusion in the world than deceit and malice. Let me read it again. Misunderstanding and neglect create more confusion in the world than deceit and malice. Misunderstanding and neglect. It's a misunderstanding. It's a neglect more than deceit and malice. A part of what you're saying right now is to say that they're using this to make money. I don't know. I mean, somebody could honestly say, you guys have done 20 clips on Charlie Kirk, and they could actually make the argument about that. We have. And our AdSense is on. So what are people going to say? We're not doing this and we're not doing this? You're running a business, and you're talking about the story. And you're doing whatever questioning you may have on this. Where I will tell you with this on where I'm at today, personally, and I want to transition out of this because I didn't mean to I wasn't planning on going into reading this letter. I've not even read this. I just know there was a letter. I hadn't read the whole thing. For the first time I read the 7 points that he had, is the following. I have no problem with anybody questioning on what happened here. No problem. Even if you get paid, I have no problem. What upsets me is federal employees whose job is you get paid to question who has access to the information. Why are you not? That's where I'm at. The problem I had at the beginning was jump into conclusion that Israel's behind it. That's Hanlon's razor. That's lack of, you just want to find somebody to blame because it validates your argument. We don't need that. That's divisive. That's what gets even more. But what I kind of want to know is, this guy was good for America, the country I live in, with raising 4 kids. Mm-hmm. Selfishly, I wanted Charlie to live to 95 years old because I got 4 kids. Selfishly, you need more brave men like this. We lost one of the most important guys in the future. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not like it's the end of the world. Let's sit there and we're not going to be able to figure out. Leaders step up. We're going to step up and do our part. I'm not sitting here worried about it. Neither should you. God is on our side. We're going to figure this thing out collectively together. But I don't mind if somebody who gets paid to do a podcast asks some questions who federal employees don't want to ask. And whether you like or don't like that individual, ask away.
Oh, Pat, I'm with you, but there's a big distinction here, in my opinion. we've talked about how many times when you have an opinion, you say the following: here's what I think. This is my opinion. I could be wrong, but this is what I think. I have no problem with anybody, literally
Versus
anybody
a
asking
definitive,
questions.
this is what happened.
There's a difference between a question, my opinion.
That's fair.
And then facts. And then I have the receipts. Trust me, bro. And you're literally lying. So we have to call out bullshit
you know what I
when
think
we
it
see
is?
it.
You know what I think it is? You know what I think it is? Here's what I think. I think you'll make a very good point when somebody comes out and says, what? I know exactly what happened without showing the receipts. Very annoying.
Yeah.
Very annoying, and you lose credibility with
You
that.
gaslight everybody.
And sometimes, sometimes there is that, what's the word, in media where you have...
Journalistic integrity?
No, it's not journalistic integrity. Where you are tempted to be the first to be like, you got it.
Breaking news,
because
yeah.
it brings so much eyeballs.
Of course.
But dude, if you were wrong, man, let me tell you, we're on a flight back. I don't know what flight. I'm on a flight back yesterday, and we're talking about somebody in business. And I always ask this question. I used to ask this question on PHP 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I used to say, who do you think is going to be the biggest player 10 years from now in the company? And I'll never forget one time we're at this event at Palm Springs, Las Vegas, July 15th of 2009. July 15th of 2009. And this one girl gets up on stage who was at our Arizona office. She gets up on stage. She hands this gift to me. It was a TSP gift with pictures and everything in it and things written by her. She's on stage crying for 5-10 minutes on how much I've changed her life. And we're outside my office in Northridge, and we're walking. And I'm asking a question, who's going to be the player top? On everybody's list, she was on the list. You know what she did a month later? Left, took business, talked trash, and we had the best relationship together.
Wow.
I was good with her boyfriend at the time, her fiance. We'd go to church. We introduced her to the church that we go to. Phenomenal. Like overnight, this happens because another guy got in her ear, and overnight, this happened. What's the point here? Dude, we have no idea what's going to happen with these stories in another 12, 24, 36 months. You have no idea who's going to be in business 5-10 years from now. You have no idea what's going to happen in business. You hear a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
But in the interim today, I have no problem with anybody that's questioning anything. I will say, pump the brakes of jumping to conclusion that you know for a fact what happened. You lose credibility when you do that. Fair point there. But I have no problem with anybody that's questioning things today. All right, let me get to the next story here. What story have we not gotten into that we'd like to get into? Tom, Vinny?
You want to talk
I know,
about
but Tom's stories are touching my elbow at this point. He's just
Tom.
getting close. Look how many
Pick
papers.
a story,
I want
Tom.
people to look how many papers. Like, Tom, what are you
Tom,
doing?
what are you
Pick a
doing
story.
with all
Pick a
that,
story,
man?
Tom. It's on my shoulder.
Did
Get
you
out
want
of
to talk
here, bro.
about Bad Bunny? What did you want to
I
talk
hate
about?
trees.
You know what? Let's talk about that. Let's
I
talk
hate
about
trees. My
What,
cousin
Kim
crashed into a
Kardashian?
tree with her
Is
car
there
and
a
died.
story
That was a
here
tree's
with
fault.
Bad Bunny or no? Do we have a Bad Bunny story? Okay, let's do it now, but that's Adam's story.
Dale.
Cartels. Former independent DOJ custody changes. Tom, is there one you want me to go through here? Pick a story that's your name listed next to it. Let's go through this. Google is blocking AI searches for Trump and dementia. Okay, Google is blocking searches for Trump and dementia. So Google appears to have blocked AI searches results for the query, does Trump show signs of dementia, as well as other questions about his mental health, even though it shows AI results for similar searches about other presidents. When making the search about President Trump, AI overviews will display a message that says, as an AI overview is not available for this search, go directly to AI mode and you'll only receive a list of 10 web results instead of a summarized page of information. Similar searches about Trump are limited in the same way various queries about dementia, Alzheimer's, and senility, being senile, display to no AI review and only produce a list of links of AI mode. Tom, why do you have a problem with this?
I'll tell you why I have a problem with this, because we need the social media groups to spend time protecting kids that are underage from being on, getting rid of fake accounts, and as Community Notes does, I think a reasonable job, but it could do even better, on Twitter, pointing out when it's an AI video or it's a fabrication. And I think from that point, stay out of the way. If you're going to operate the social media network, then stay out of the way. The price of free speech is free speech. And this pendulum will go back and forth. And I think Google is being disingenuous, and I'll tell you why. August of 2024, Judge Mehta ruled that Google violated antitrust laws. The remedies came out in April 2025. The closing arguments were heard in May 2025. And now we're in the point of negotiating the settlement. And we all saw these headlines in September, a month ago. It says the decision came down and said, well, guess what? They're going to get to keep Chrome. We're not going to make you get rid of the browser. You're going to keep that. And right now, there's active negotiations with the judge and with Google regarding the Android app distribution settlement that they dated back to 2023. And so what do I think is right now? The final implementation of remedies, and I'm reading from a DOJ report, from the core federal antitrust laws will be pending the appeals process that Google is entitled to and was expected to take time, likely extending into 2026. So what do I think is going on? I think that this is trying to, give a little kiss on the cheek to the Trump administration because Google is still in hot water. This is not done. The implementation and the penalty phase is still on the table. And I think what's going on is Google's doing that. So I have two problems with it. One, I think Google is trying to play nice with the administration because they're in the middle of this very, very big deal that's been 5 years in the making. Number one. But number two, I don't ever want the pendulum to come back the other way.
That's exactly the thing.
And so my point is protect kids, get rid of duplicate accounts, prevent retail fraud that happens when they impersonate stores, and sniff out the AI videos and things and allow the community notes to reign. That's what you should do. And for the rest of it, stay out of the way.
Hey, do you think Trump actually got involved and told them, like, hey, have this type of attitude? Like, I don't want people searching next.
I didn't read any of that. In my research, I didn't read any of that there was any threat.
I know. He's just asking.
I'm just asking.
Do you think he's capable of asking a question like that?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
like, hey guys, this whole
I'm 50-50.
dimension. Yeah.
I'm 50-50. But
I think Tom.
A part of it. Sorry. A part of this to me is. You do one of two things, and I'm okay with either one of these two things. One, either don't give favors to whoever's the president, or be protective of both presidents. So what does that mean? If you want to minimize the amount of noise linked to health and all this other stuff, fine. And you're being fair to both, fine. Don't like it because I'm a freedom of speech, but fine. But at least you're being what?
Honest.
Consistent with both.
Yep.
Or guess what? No, like Tim Cook. Nope, we're not giving you, Mr. Obama, San Bernardino. We're not going to give you the stuff on the phone. We have to go find it from a different person. We're not going to give it to you. To me, let me tell you, that's when I became a Cook fan.
Yeah, respect.
Because you're like, if you're that family, you would be upset at Cook.
Of course.
Imagine if that's you. You're like, dude, give me the freaking information.
I want to know this terrorist.
But at the same time, he's like, dude, I understand, but I'm running a company and I'm protecting the privacy of all the other people that are members here.
Yep.
Okay. Which, by the way, ChatGPT right now, I don't know if you guys saw this story. I don't know if we rolled it. And
I think I did.
There was a story about ChatGPT that said nowadays, ChatGPT is giving information to local authority when kids search on ChatGPT how to commit suicide. Yeah. Did you see this story, Rob? If you can just, if you go to news, you type in ChatGPT and you type in suicide and go to news, it'll come up. Just go to news. Zoom launches a parental controls on ChatGPT after California teen suicide. Go a little bit lower, Rob. Reuters open hours rolling out a parental control ChatGPT on the web and mobile on Monday, following a lawsuit by parents of a teen who died by suicide after an artificial intelligence startup's chatbot allegedly are you
coached
kidding
them
me?
Like, this is how you should do it.
Coach them on methods of self-harm. The controls let parents and teenagers opt in for stronger safeguards by linking their accounts, where one party sends an invitation by parental controls activate. The U.S. regulators are increasingly scrutinizing AI companies over the parental negative impact of chatbots. In August, Reuters had reported how Meta AI rules allowed flirty conversations with kids under the new measures. Yeah, I mean, so this is the part where with kids you got to be careful with. OpenAI has 700 million weekly active users for its ChatGPT product. Is building an age prediction system to help us predict whether a user is under 18, so the chatbot can automatically apply teen parent. Yeah.
That's
So
slippery
the
slope.
safeguards, this is super necessary.
Yep.
But to me, with Google is make up your mind. If you can every 4 years be like, oh, President Biden, you're great. Oh my God, President Trump, you're awesome. Oh my God, President AOC, you are fantastic. Oh my God. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. And I hope they have a backbone to do it to both sides. Adam.
Well, I'll
Please
say
help
this.
me with my problem over at the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Look, this is why America is by far and away the most important country in the world. We talk about America being the greatest country in the world, but sometimes we don't talk about how important America is on the world stage. America is literally keeping the balance between freedom of speech and misinformation and disinformation and balancing that alive. You know, what's the whole point of freedom of speech? So you can say what you want to say. The price of free speech is free speech, liberty, freedom. We understand that. You know, I think it was the World Economic Forum. They said that the biggest issues that we're going to come across in the next handful of years is misinformation and disinformation and these deep fakes. So helping, you know, curb those types of issues, public safety, you know, hurting people's feelings. There is that balance, that content moderation being difference in free speech. But if you extrapolate and go deeper, why America is so important, look at what the hell's going on in the UK these days. Are you seeing this? The UK is arresting people for mean tweets.
Or looking at a post. No, one kid got visited for
2
looking.
a.m.
I mean, there's multiple different examples of this. But America, listen, to my liberal friends out there, you might not like what Trump is doing domestically. But internationally, he's keeping this whole thing in the world afloat and together. Because the authoritarian regimes of China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, there's no free speech there. There's nothing. There's communism. There's Marxism. You know, London has basically been taken over by Islam. Respect to you guys out there, Keir Starmer. Respect. But now you're starting to see the UK and Europe be anti-free speech. And, you know, you've been offending people, so you're going to go to jail now. That's what's going on in the UK? Tell me you've seen these stories, Vin.
Oh, 1,000%. What do you mean? This girl liked the post. Cops showed up to her house to talk to them. Bro, they're cooked. You know why? They don't have the First Amendment, and guess what? The Second Amendment. Because you're not treating freaking citizens when they got freaking. You're not coming to my house to try to arrest me for liking a post, bro.
By the way, if you don't think Starmer come into the microphone and talking about we're going to make it harder for people to stay, we're going to start making some changes. If you don't think Tommy Robinson caused that, because all those people came out and there was nationalist pride and people asking for law and order and the citizens out on the street. If you don't think that took Starmer to the microphone, you're not paying attention.
For sure, he's doing it. Yeah, this is the clip, Robbie. If you want to play it.
But this is what makes it worse.
I don't like the camera. You can have my body cam. I can exhibit that to you. I just don't like the camera, really.
Okay, well, I'm doing this because this is my own house and I am telling
right,
you why I'm doing it. So I just need to know why would she's basically viewed a post which is not an arrestable offence.
Viewed an offence, that's been.
Okay.
It happened in May and you're completely fine. The only thing is we need to seize the phone at this current moment.
Seize the phone because the girl liked the post.
We will escalate this further.
But with a voluntary interview. So have you seized anyone else? Is she the only child you're picking on?
Voluntary interview, you'd be able to come.
Have you spoken to anyone else?
Oh my God.
No, we'll come to the station now.
Do you mind letting her finish her sentence before?
Yeah.
It does have to get further escalation, unfortunately.
That's fine. We'll come to the station now.
The phone isn't seized right now, and we're not able to basically get the phone. We'd have to escalate this further.
Escalate the situation.
Your daughter will get arrested.
For what? Viewing a social media post? Is that?
I need to go with her.
Thank God for the Constitution.
Absolutely not.
What can we do to prevent destruction of evidence?
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Lisa,
that's fine. I would like you to leave now. I'd like you to leave.
Let him in the house.
Okay, I have nothing more to say to you. A social media post. I've got nothing more to say. I'd like you to leave. You've harassed this child enough. I'd like you to leave.
Lisa, that's no worries.
Like this is like a comedy skit.
Okay. By the way, have you seen? There's countless videos. Yeah. I don't know how that woman. They go to jail.
Adam, you know why? They don't have the Second Amendment and they don't have the Constitution, bro. You're not treating citizens like that are well-informed. They have freedom of speech and they have the Second Amendment.
Do you know why?
To hell with that. That's why this is the greatest place in the history of the world.
They actually do, and then Muslim mayors are messing with laws.
Yeah. So
God bless
can
America.
I give a recommendation? You know how they said that life imitates art? Hey, to my friends in the UK, if anyone's seeing this, 100+ years ago, you had this author, and his name was George Orwell. And he wrote this book called 1984. He also wrote another book called Animal Farm. I highly encourage you guys to read this book again, because this is the world we're living in. Where liking an Instagram post, I'm sorry you hurt my feelings, so it's jail time for you. It's no longer tea time. It's no longer tea and crumpets time. It's jail time. How many times? What do we need to see here?
They're done.
More examples of this.
They're finished.
London Stan is coming, guys, ladies and gentlemen. And Keir Starmer, you're leading the charge, homeboy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what's going to happen there. Obviously, the good news is that they're being exposed, and Tommy's got the brass to go out there and do it without any security.
Yep.
He's doing this without any security.
Well, he needs it.
Well, but he doesn't have the money to do the security. So, by the way, some of you guys support what Tommy Robinson is doing. Rob, guess what? Tommy Robinson is on Connect. If you're watching this and saying, I'd like to be able to support what the guy is doing, go Connect him. Show him some love. Go to Connect and give him his love. Rob, if you can find the link, I know what direction you're taking to go to the account. If you go to his link, let's just put it up there. For anybody that supports what he's doing, let's see if we have the QR code right there. That's the QR code. Good for you, Rob, the way you just got it. That's his QR code. Go message him. Give him some love. I'm giving a kiss. I'm giving a kiss is what I'm doing. It's a Middle Eastern kiss. Mwah. Machleta. All right, let's go to the next story. This is at the top of the list for Tom. And I want to see what Tom has to say about this. So Ray J makes shocking claim. He's helping.
Tom, you saw that video. You know exactly what's going on here, home slice.
Case against Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner. Ray J is. Now, I don't know the connection with Ray J and Tom, but Rob, you want to play this clip? Is this like telling us what's going on? Or
Yes, this is Ray J announcing that he is working with the feds on a RICO case against the Kardashians.
Okay, go for it.
This federal RICO, though, on KK and Kris. Ooh. The federal RICO I'm about to drop on Kris and Kim is about to be crazy. I'm talking about, I'm on the news every day like, yeah. Meaning like I'm going to say a lot of shit, but
Got a little bounce, you know, you walk with shit.
If anybody know Kim and cool with Kim, they need to tell her now. The rain is coming.
Anybody's friends with Kim need to tell her now.
Hey, right. It's coming. The feds is coming. It's nothing I can do about it. It's worse than Diddy. It's worse than Diddy.
Y'all hear this nigga, boy?
It's worse than Diddy.
It's worse than Diddy. So then Kardashians respond, and Tom, I'm going to come to you. Kris Jenner sues Ray J. The Kardashians and Jenner sue Ray J for defamation over inflammatory feds RICO accusation. This is a New York Post story. He can't keep up with the Kardashians. Kim Kardashian and her mom, Kris Jenner, are suing Ray J for defamation after the singer claimed he was working with the federal government to build a RICO case against the pair. Unable to accept the end of his fleeting relationship with Kardashian over 20 years ago, Ray J has repeatedly sought to attach himself to plaintiffs' names and exploit their prominence for personal gain. Ray J for the first claimed the racketeering charges against Kardashian would be appropriate. During the documentary, TMZ presents United States versus Sean Combs. Tom, what do you know about the story here?
Very little. There was I saw this original video, very, very fuzzy, but it appeared that Ray J was pole vaulting over Kris Jenner. At least it looked like some sort of, yeah. So
you really watched the video?
No, I did
Adam,
not.
so what are your thoughts? What's going on here?
Well, Tom, you sure you don't want to go deeper on this?
That's what she said.
That's what Ray J said.
Oh, wow. So Ray J is what? He's suing the Kim and Joe.
No, he's not.
He's suing.
Look at
Stop it, Rob.
No,
anyway, let me.
He's not. Ray J's not suing. Ray J said that there's a RICO case against them while he's drinking.
Gotcha.
Apparently,
so
allegedly.
Here, let me reframe this. The Kardashians are suing Ray J because he's defaming them over some RICO accusation. Let me tell you something, buddy. I'm going to defend Kim K on this one, and I haven't hung out with them in over a decade. And my buddy Kris married her. I was in the wedding, the whole deal. Ray J has not been relevant in 2 decades. Not 1, not 2, 3. Ray J has not been relevant. And what he's trying to do, and this is according to the accusation, attach himself to the plaintiffs' names, the Kardashians, to exploit their prominence for personal gain. And that's exactly what he's doing. Do you know who Brandy is? That's Ray J's big sister.
Singer.
He's also, I think, a cousin of Snoop Dogg. He's the third most famous person in that family. He's clinging to the hopes that maybe someone will write an article about him, that maybe he'll be relevant again. His famous song was One Wish. I think 2000. If I had one wish. It's actually a great song. His one wish is to be relevant again. I don't know what his net worth is. Maybe it's 10 million. Who knows?
I hit it first.
He had a song called I Hit It First.
Right, Rob?
Bingo.
I think that's the one.
When you're making songs about the fact that you had sex with Kim Kardashian,
First.
that is all you have to claim. This should tell you exactly who he is at this point. I don't even know about that song.
You never heard of Rob? Can you look it up, Ray J? I Hit It First.
Took place in 2003.
You know what?
It's just 20 plus years ago that he was relevant, and this is exactly what he's trying to do at this point.
I Hit It First.
He made a song called I Hit It First.
Tom loves this song.
Yeah, Tom
loves
we
it.
understand that.
He was playing it on the way here today.
I'm with the Kardashians on this one. Ray J can't keep up with them.
But here's my question though, because I always take a step back and think, out of all things to come up with, by the way, I don't know, he's on a live stream. Appears that he's on a live stream. He's drinking out of the red cup, so I would assume somebody that he's drinking. How do you just come up out of the blue that there is a RICO case that you're behind and that you're going to do X, Y, and Z? And then, mind you, he's on a podcast or whatever, streaming, talking crap. That's defamation. Pat, if you're saying, this is coming down on them and he's on a...
You can't say stuff like that. That goes back to what Adam said earlier. You can say that if 100% you have a case.
It's happening.
You say something like that. Here's the problem, Vinny. This is what ends up happening. So this happens to women and this happens to celebrities. You know, when you no longer look like the way you did when you were 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of like, oh, my God, how do I get the attention I used to get? That's the whole concept of conservative guys were open to the idea of dating a liberal women when they're younger, but not as they're older. And liberal women are not open to the idea of dating a conservative man when they're younger, but they're open to it when they're what? Older, okay?
Because they know the old plan didn't work, did it?
The old plan didn't work. So the point with this is when you are so relevant, like imagine when the first sex tape came out, how famous Ray J was.
Ridiculous.
He probably couldn't go anywhere, right?
Nope.
Think about everybody wanted to kind of, hook up with him, talk to him. Oh, my God, what a video. So then now... nobody is like interested.
Yeah.
So what's another way for me to have a hit in to be
spark that old flame?
But this is the wrong group to do because you know what Kardashians have?
They got money.
Good lawyers.
Very good lawyers.
Well, who the ironically the Ray J of politics is? Monica Lewinsky. Now, leaving politics aside, Monica Lewinsky is known for one thing. We all know what it was. Ray J is known for one thing. And when that's the only thing you got, you're going to keep going back to the well. You're going to keep going back to the well. And at some point, you're going to start learning words like defamation, slander, libel. And then you're going to end up learning words like lawsuit, jail time, pay up. So that may be what happens with Ray J for trying to
be honest with you
expose the Kardashians.
I love what, your analysis was good. Vinny, yours was good, but no one broke the story down better than Tom.
Tom was
he hit it.
Tom hit it. Tom hit it first.
Absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah, and from the back.
Right, so Taiwan rejects U.S. proposal of 50-50 chip production, says trade talks focused on tariffs. Okay, so let's see what this is. Trade talks focused on tariffs. And then I'm going to go to the other story as well right afterwards. So here we go. Taiwan will not accept Washington's proposal to locally manufacture half the chips it currently supplies to the U.S. The island's top trade negotiator says, speaking to reporters, Cheng Li Chuan, also the country's vice premier, said on Wednesday that the proposal for 50-50 split in semiconductor production was not even discussed as she returned from trade talks in the U.S., according to Taiwan's central news agency. Cheng said the talks were focused on reducing levies on Taiwanese exports, and Taiwan currently faces a reciprocal tariff rate of 20%. Washington has held discussions with Taipei about the 50-50 split in semiconductor production, which would cut American reliance on Taiwan. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said last Wednesday in an interview to News Nation that adding that currently 95% of U.S. demands was met via chips produced within Taiwan. My objective and this administration objective is to get chip manufacturing significantly onshore. We need to make our own chips, Lutnick said. The idea that I pitched Taiwan was let's get 50-50. We're producing half and you're producing half. Donald Trump also has spoken, taking aim at the island's dominance and chip earlier this year, accusing it of stealing the U.S. chip business. Interesting. Tom.
It's very simple. Taiwan says, I wanted you to protect, this is incredibly simple. Taiwan said, I wanted you to protect me from China, but I don't want you to take the revenue by building some of the chips over at your house. Please don't do that. And that was the deal that the Trump and Howard Lutnick put in front of them. Hey, we're going to build chips in the U.S. It'll be 50-50. We'll move the tariff back, and then we'll diplomatically work with China. And they're like, no, I still want to make everything, and I want you to protect me. That's what it came down to. I think Lutnick's being really smart here.
I think Lutnick is being smart, but I think Lutnick and them are also leveraging the fact that you need their protection to, Tom, you good?
That Ray J thing really got him fired up.
Tom just
walked out.
God,
was it Taiwan or he was like, and that's it, and there's the chips.
We know
and
Tom's
just
trigger.
gone.
It's
What happened?
semiconductors.
Guys, this is the last time we will cover the semiconductor story ever again. Go ahead, Adam.
Tom's got a semi on right now.
Go ahead.
Well, Tom is actually right. I wish he was here to receive this credit and accolade. Taiwan can't have it both ways. It's kind of like Ukraine. It's like, you want our money, you want our funding, you want our help, you want our hard power, soft power, the whole deal, but we're going to need a little bit of them minerals, Mr. Zelensky. What Taiwan is saying is like, yeah, we need your protection, but you're not getting any of our chips. Now Vinny's leaving?
Adam, what's your point?
Shut up, Tom. Go back to your seat.
Back
Okay.
to my-
But the point is, Taiwan is going to have to come to the bargaining table, and we can't have 95% of our chips manufactured in Taiwan. Did you know that number, Pat? 95%?
That's a lot.
That's a monopoly on our chips. It's kind of like when China was manufacturing all our goods, and we learned during COVID, oh my God.
But the leverage is on the U.S. though.
Because of protection? Because we're like the big mafia boss?
Are you kidding me? What are you talking
So
about?
how are they saying, no, we're not going to give you
They're going to get it. U.S. is going to get what they want. It's just maybe a longer plan. But U.S. is going to get what they want. They don't have a lot of choices of what to do here. They need America, period.
That's true.
They need America in a big way. But I want to get to the next story about tariffs, and then we'll wrap it up. This next story about tariffs is having to do with Hollywood. Trump threatens 100% tariffs on foreign-made movies. Okay?
Jeez.
Foreign-made movies. Here's CNN talking about the story. Go ahead, Rob.
Taking on the film industry in a new way. In a social media post just moments ago, he wrote that he will be imposing a 100% tariff on, as he put it, any and all movies made outside of the U.S. He also said California's been hit hard by movie productions moving outside the United States. And this may sound familiar. He did start threatening this back in May. It seems that he's now moving towards it. And for years, filmmakers have been leaving Hollywood for destinations outside the U.S., including UK and Canada, in order to lower costs. Several big movies of recent were produced by U.S. studios, shot outside of America, including Deadpool and Wolverine, Wicked, Gladiator 2. Thing about it is the president did not say when or how the tariffs would happen. So stand by on that.
Stand by
on
that. President Donald Trump said in the Truth Social post on Mike's Prime post. Okay, good idea, bad idea, Tom. What's going on here? You look happier, but
you look lighter.
A good or a bad idea about what happened with tariffs on movies?
So I think this is a good idea because I think what Trump is saying, hey, multiple states are giving tax incentive. Georgia gives you them. Florida gives you them. Texas will give you them. Washington's got a lot of editing in Vancouver area. So Trump is like, hey, make the movies here in the U.S. Make them here in the U.S. There's all these places to make in the U.S., even if they're trying to get out of California because of the unions and things that are happening that you've seen, Vinny. You've personally seen it.
Yep.
Everything from comedy shows. And I don't mean like on-location comedy shows where you're in New York at some classic comedy place, or you're filming it there, of course. I'm talking about just doing, live, HBO Comedy Jam, or doing it live, getting out. And what Trump is saying, look, American jobs, American manufacturing, make movies in America, just like washing machines. I think that is the angle. That is the real message here. Now then, here's where I feel weird about this. I love the fact that like the last Bond movie was shot on location, and you can see that it's Croatia and it's not CGI and it's beautiful. There's places all over the place to go. And so I feel kind of weird. I'm kind of weird about that way, but I understand what he's trying to do. They're kind of treating it, you know, like, hey, make your washing machines, make your appliances, make electronics here in America, American jobs. I get that part, but there's a part of the creative side. I think you got to give him grace.
Yeah. I think Trump is just throwing this out there to make waves, to kind of make a point. I don't know if Trump truly on his list of, you know, we talk about his top agenda, 20 things, if American movies is on this. I think this is the first time that he's implemented a proposed tariff on a service rather than a good. Everything is goods, everything to manufacturing. This is a service now. I don't know. I think that maybe he throws this out there just like many other tariffs in many other countries. It's a negotiation tactic, and then you meet somewhere in the middle. I think it'd be great if all movies were made in America, you know, made in America, but that's not the reality of it. Like you gave the James Bond example, like certain places we're gonna need for the movie to have actual, like the proper scene, the proper vibe. You might need to go to New Zealand, or you might need to go to Italy, whatever it is. I think
Lord of the Rings was shot all in New Zealand.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think this is a threat that he'll eventually tamper down and meet in the middle. But if we know anything about Trump, he throws a grenade out there, see who reacts, and then he kind of takes it from there. But
I think they should do something like at least a 50-50. Like if you're going to shoot 5 of them there, we want you to shoot 5 of them here. Like because the job market in Los Angeles for all the people that are working on movies and everything, bro, on sets and drivers and everything, it is bad, bro. It is really, really, really bad.
I'd love to know what Gavin Newsom thinks about something like this.
Well, listen,
does he want to keep jobs in California?
Gavin
or does he want to outsource
Newsom
them?
is becoming pro-oil because he wants to run for office. Gavin Newsom's got a bigger problem to deal with. But when it comes down to creative, I am a little bit more. You got to let a creative go do where they want to produce the movie, and then encourage some states in America that want more movies to be shot there, give better benefits.
Yeah.
Period. By the way, some people may not want that. Some states are like, I don't want Hollywood to come to my state. Yep. No problem. You pick and choose what values you want to build on. But last story here with Newsom. Newsom is wanting to drive a stick shift again. Okay.
What type?
Newsom courts big oil as gas prices threaten political ambitions. Uh-oh. The guy wants to run for office. How are you going to do it if you keep hating on oil industry? Mm-hmm. How will he pull it off? Remember when Trump's like, don't forget what he said, factoring, fracking. Remember what he does with fracking. Don't forget what he said in one of the debates that took place. Not him and Newsom. It was a different candidate. So last year, Newsom stood before Californians and declared that oil industry that polluted heart of this climate crisis. Big oil, he said, was lying, manipulating, profiteering. They're screwing you, he added, after signing a bill to bolster oversight. Months later, one of Newsom's top energy regulators was dispatched on a plane to America's petroleum heartland on a mission to placate the oil companies threatening to flee California. Newsom, a Democrat in his second term and final term, is making a remarkable shift in his approach after leading a years-long crusade against fossil fuels, which may have ended up being more successful than he intended. California, often home to the country's highest gasoline prices, is now staring down a potential energy crisis as the industry pulls up stakes. Chevron Corporation moved its headquarters out of the Golden State refineries, are closing a key oil pipeline is hemorrhaging money, and Republicans are warning that gasoline prices could end up at $8 a gallon in California. Newsom has disputed this estimate, but says it's a top priority to bring down gasoline prices of Californians. The focus comes amid growing speculation that he is gearing up for a presidential run in 2028. Tom, your thoughts on the story?
Well, first of all, to the Bloomberg writers, you smarmy little bastards.
Ooh, whoa.
Look at this.
Whoa, hold on.
Newsom's top energy regulator was dispatched on a plane to America's petroleum heartland. They wrote it that way because they didn't want to say Texas. They didn't want to say that Newsom's advisors had to go to Texas and make peace with people that they had kicked in the balls. That's what they didn't want to say. Bloomberg didn't want to say, dispatched on a plane to America's petroleum heartland. No, they can't just say, hey, they went to Houston, Texas to talk to Chevron, to talk to Exxon. Number one. Number two, I honestly believe that there's something wrong with Newsom that you couldn't have seen this coming. You had refineries. It doesn't matter that Chevron moved the headquarters out. It was the Valero refineries and others that shut down because of a bunch of regulation, and they said they're not going to be there. And then I I think what caught him out is the EV slowdown. If the EV slowdown doesn't happen and he gets to 30% EV cars, then he doesn't need the gas. But guess what? The EV slowdown happened. We're trying to get lithium. The president is trying to cut lithium deals, investing in companies which I disagree with, trying to make the lithium deal to make the lithium available, which I 100% support, my president. More cowbell, please. And I see it. And so this is Newsom getting caught in the vice. EVs slow down. Now he needs the oil. Weird. The refineries are gone. You can't spin up a refinery in 10 minutes. So, hey, get the Red Cross here with a boat so we can give water and people to here after the hurricane. No, you can't do that. You can't just build a refinery overnight. People like DeSantis, right, built a bridge in about 48 hours to help people after a hurricane.
No.
That's leadership. But Newsom is completely caught out, and then Bloomberg can't even say Newsom sent his guys to Texas. So I see two sides of this. This is the way liberals write, and this is why words talk, numbers scream, and you got to dive into the articles to see what's really written. But right now, Newsom is pinched.
Oh,
Adam.
Well, let me tell you, this is the one way that Gavin Newsom will win the election that he's destined to be a part of in 2028. We talked about how, Hollywood, the movies, nobody has deeper connections to Hollywood than Gavin Newsom. But there was a movie that took place many years ago. It was called Men in Black. And Will Smith would hold something up like this. And they said, look right here, boom, flash. And it was a memory eraser. And that is the only way that Gavin Newsom will possibly win a general election, is that he wants to completely erase your memory of all the damage he's done in California. And if he can do that, if it look right here, boom, use his hand. I love your impersonation
that's all he
of
uses, his hands.
Look right here, a la Will Smith, erase your memory and be like, wow, what a great guy this guy is. He's well-spoken and he has great hair. I'll vote for him. That's the only way a guy like that's going to win. Because if you have any semblance of a memory and you don't have dementia, shout out to Joe Biden, there's no way you're going to take this guy seriously. So he's hoping that everybody forgets.
I don't care what anybody says. Anybody says. To me, I think whether you like the guy or don't like the, whether you're going to vote for him or not, Rob, if you can pull this up, this is probably one of the best interviews I've seen Newsom do. I saw him the other day. He's sitting there doing an interview with this one guy, and this guy's asking him questions. And I'm like, actually very good answers that he's giving. Go ahead. This guy here, go ahead.
He uses his hand. Adam made a great point, Pat. I realized Gavin Newsom, he'll distress.
Just pay attention. Just do me a favor. Just pay attention. Go.
Of California, Gavin Newsom. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me. I want to apologize in advance. Just really quick. I gotta let you know right now the flight that I was on was delayed, so didn't get that much sleep. But I'm here now, and I want to thank you for having me. So.
My first questions are about the ICE raids in California. How do you feel about the situation?
How do I feel? I think Donald Trump is an authoritarian. I think he is a tyrant. He thinks he's going to come to California and act like Hitler, like literally Hitler. Look at that. Who do I find? That's Donald Trump. But guess what? Not on my watch. All right, not on my watch. Here, you could keep that. It was a
pause it right there. You got to give it to him. He's like just a very fascinating guy to interview. And the interview actually did a great job in the interview. Anyways,
this is
gang,
fantastic.
let me tell you guys what's going on here tonight. This is the first time we're announcing it because at this point, those who are coming, you know what the story is. Tonight, Eric Trump will be on the podcast, 7 p.m. tonight, live. We will live stream. Put in your calendar, 7 p.m. tonight. Eric Trump. We haven't had him on for a minute. I think we had him on last year.
Right after the election, we had him on.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to cover here with him tonight. And he hasn't done a lot of podcasts and stuff for quite some time. He's been kind of low-key for quite some time. We got some things to ask him about. We got to ask him about what Trump 2028 really means.
Yeah.
We got to ask him about some questions with Kirk, the investigations, FBI, a bunch of different things. But we're looking forward to it. And FYI, just to give a credit where credit's due, LA fans won.
Really?
The amount of
look how blue that thing is.
Blue.
Tom bought like 200.
Why are we voting blue, guys?
You think he went to the bathroom? He was in there buying 200 hats.
VT merch, just so you guys know. I mean, it was if you subtract 50, it wasn't even close. This destroyed Yankees. If you're watching this, Go get your navy blue Future Looks Bright hat. But damn, this hat looks good. Anyways, God bless everybody. We will do it again later on tonight, and have a great weekend for those of you guys that join us or don't join us. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
All right.